series on the road this season. You can hear the whole thing right here. First pitch tonight is at 6:40, and the pregame show starts at 5:30.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome to the Wyman and Bob Show, Seattle Sports on 710 and seattlesports.com. You can text us today at 866-979-3776. I'm Dave Wyman. I got Paul Moyer here. Paul, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. And
it's a guy that I just
Wyman
can't
Bob.
get away from. Can't get away from Paul Moyer. 1987, we were teammates. You introduced me to my wife.
Yes.
You got me a job in broadcasting.
I did.
2004.
Did I get you a job at Merrill Lynch, too?
I really owe you a lot. No, you did not get that for me.
Because Charlie Weaver Charlie Weaver was the district director, good friend of mine. I thought I did, but maybe I got you fired from Merrill Lynch. Maybe that was it.
Yeah, I remember you called me in 2004, and you were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I was working for Shannon, and she had her jewelry company.
Is she a good boss?
She was really good.
I mean, but is she
pretty too?
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
But is she, because she's very competitive.
Yeah.
I've played like card games and some pickleball and tennis with her. Oh, she wants to win.
Yeah.
Does she? And I'm assuming she wanted to win in business too.
Yeah.
But so does she make? I mean, in other words, could you guys separate business from home? Was she a good boss?
Yeah, we would shut it down.
Okay.
At a certain point.
That's good.
But anyway, got me in 2004 on the pregame show, and it's been how long you been doing the Seahawk radio?
Well, this is my 42nd year doing something.
With the Seahawks.
Yeah, either player, coach, some type of broadcasting, radio, TV, radio. I feel like I'm getting pushed farther and farther down, though, Dave. I used to host the show. I used to do sideline. At one point, I was interested in the color. And now I'm just, hey, do you want to do pregame? Yeah, maybe a little halftime.
Yeah.
We don't even need you on postgame.
Yeah, I filled in for you one time in 2004 doing the sidelines, and they lost, and it was at New York, and I was terrified to go into the locker room.
And do the interviews?
I still hate going into the locker room, or the same thing with the Mariners in the clubhouse, because I just, having been a player, I feel like that's their domain. I don't want to be part of it. And media people, I remember when they came in, I was always like, oh, geez, what do these guys want? And so I was like, yeah, I'm not going in there. And our producer, Eric Grandstrom's like, you got to get in there, man. Let's go. And I was all right.
It's hard. It's hard. I remember Robbie Tobeck said to me, he goes, how come you only come to me when we lose games to interview? Right. I go, because you're the only one who will talk to me.
No, he's the go-to guy. Matt Hasselbeck was that guy.
Matt was good.
Believe it or not, Jeremy Stevens. Very good.
Sean Alexander was very graceful, too.
And you're forgetting Mac Strong.
Mac was great. I did it for 2 or 3 years, and we were good, not great. The part that was the most difficult is I would do Rabel stopped doing it. I interviewed Mike Holmgren after the games, and this was before they would do the way it is set up today, where they put everybody on the podium and all the media is in one spot. Well, they didn't do that. We used to be the first ones to talk with Matt Hasselbeck. We were the first ones to talk with Mike Holmgren at the time, and I would have to go into his little area of the coach's room, and I would interview him. And one time the tape recorder didn't work, and I was so nervous. And he's like, hey, man, you're good. He goes, let me just give you a couple good little nuggets, and you just go back and tell him what I said.
Holmgren.
Yeah, he didn't like doing it. He said, why do I got to do this and then face the media?
Yeah.
And they've changed it since then.
Yeah, Mike Holmgren was he was a very intimidating guy. He a big dude. I never saw him. I saw him get mad a couple of times, but yeah, I mean, he was intimidating, but just the nicest gentleman.
Great to the media. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been really fortunate back to back. You had, Mike Holmgren, who was very professional, would make the dumbest question sound like it was a good question.
Right.
Pete was pretty good at that too, but he'd call out the media every once in a while for a dumb question, but he was so endearing about it that he didn't make them look too stupid at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been fortunate. We've had some pretty good coaches over the last 20 years.
Well, let me tell you what's going on with the show today. We got John Boyle from Seahawks.com, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about the schedule release and some of the off-season stuff. And then at 4 o'clock, we got Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill. So 2 solid dudes right there. And so we are doing Mean Text. 545. So I gave you the text number 866-979-3776. You can just heap it on Moyer if you want. But
I can't. Well, actually,
I'll get him
because
fired
I'm
up
in
at
here
some
for
point.
Bob. We do and I'm going to do what's bugging Bob, and I got a couple things that are bugging me, Dave.
Yeah.
And one of them,
You're on the right show.
I'm probably going to take a little heat. So if anybody gets mad at my what's bugging Bob, just send it to Bob. So we'll be fine here.
Hey, going through, and this is something I know that you were interested in doing, and we didn't really go through game by game when we got the schedule released. The one thing is, and Paul, you said this when we talked to you, we had him on yesterday, the 7.5 over-under win total in Vegas. And you were saying, I'm not a gambling man. I'm not a gambling man. And I was like, I think Moyer's a gambling man.
I think I may take it up.
If you go, maybe fly to Vegas, do it the right way.
I think.
Don't try to call a bookie or anything like that.
Don't we sign something because we're hired by the CI, but we're not allowed to gamble on the NFL or the Seahawks or anything? I've never
don't
done
like
it. I've never done it. I'm just letting you know. No skeletons in that closet. But
7.5.
we're going to go through the schedule. I'm not saying we're going to get 7 wins before the bye, but I can make an argument, Dave, that we could win the first 7 games. So there's certainly no, and partly it's when we look at this schedule, our toughest games, I think, are probably at home. San Francisco and Tampa Bay being 2 of those.
Houston.
So your tough games are at home, and then we'll talk about this too. I mean, Pittsburgh doesn't have a quarterback. Jacksonville, again, in Jacksonville, I mean, that may be a home field advantage for us. People will travel on that one.
New Orleans doesn't have.
They don't have a quarterback. Arizona, I get it. They're better defensively. I'm not a Kyler Murray person that fears Kyler Murray. He's not played well versus us very often. Their defense is supposed to be better, but you got to go out and prove it. I think the reason why, Dave, more than anything, the 7.5 is we changed quarterbacks. You lost a superstar in DK, and everybody wants to know, what does that look like?
Yeah.
And they're discounting the improvement, how well we played defensively the last, second part of the last 8-9 games, and then the improvements I think we've added to this defense. Man, if I was Dave, I would definitely be betting on that one.
Yeah. I don't see that at all. But I have them going 11-6 is my number. And let's just go through it, Paul. I mean, I think week 1 I have a W there, and that's San Francisco coming to town, and they re-signed George Kittle. They've got some stuff to do as far as re-signing people, but I mean, to me, that's a win, the home opener. I don't know if pundits are looking at this going, oh, okay, San Francisco's a much better team than them. It was night and day last year, the first game against San Francisco versus what we saw later in the season, where they get the win down there. So, yeah, this is a tale of 2 halves last season. Once they got the defense fixed, everything started to really go well. But I have a W with San Francisco. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a W as well. And the reason why is it's home opener. Crowd's going to be great. Hopefully we fix this ticket situation, and it's we have truly the home field advantage that we're capable of having. The other one is, man, San Francisco. They lost 4 Pro Bowlers on defense. Yeah. You've got to replace them. I mean, they're good players too. I mean, these are Pro Bowl elite players at their position, and they just came up with a salary cap issue. I think San Francisco, some of them are looking at it. Why would they pick them over the Seahawks? They're thinking, McCaffrey will be back healthy. McCaffrey's never healthy, and he's gotten old. This team is old. I don't know, man. Ayuk, I'm not a huge fan of his. I think Kittle's the biggest issue. McCaffrey, obviously, if he's healthy, is a problem, but I feel our defense matches. We have guys that will tackle at the line of scrimmage and not let McCaffrey get 5-6 yards down in the open field. And I think we have linebackers and safeties who are good open field tacklers now. So I think I'm putting W there too.
Pittsburgh, I think we're going to differ on this one. I just, for whatever reason, just have a feel, week 2 at Pittsburgh. I have that one as a loss. Now, again, I only have 6 losses. So, at Pittsburgh, I just, for whatever reason, I think they're always a hard-nosed team. And maybe it's like a hangover from, was it 23 when they came in here and ran all over us? It was ridiculous. I have that one as a loss on the road. I think it's going to be tough to win in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's on the road. I think it's a morning game, which I think there's 4 or 6 of those this year that are 10 o'clock games. That hasn't been a problem for us over the years.
It really hasn't. To interrupt you really quick,
Yeah.
Remember when 4, 5, 6 years ago, the first thing you would do with the schedule release is, okay, how many 10 a.m. games? Because it was just a problem. And I know for Pete and seemingly for Mike McDonald as well, they've conquered that problem.
Yeah, the reason why I'm going with a W on this one is right now you got Mason Rudolph as the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a drop, right? That's not a top 20 quarterback. You got Will Howard. I do like Will Howard.
Yeah.
I think Will, I like his leadership ability. I like how he's going to try and attack this thing, but he's a rookie quarterback if he starts. And it's an if. And then we'll see if Aaron Rodgers eventually shows up. But at this point, Aaron Rodgers, I saw him last year.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is a 40-year-old man who looks 40 playing in the NFL. At least Tom Brady at the time didn't look like a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
And played pretty well to the very end. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not into football. If you don't put everything into the game, make it your number one priority, particularly as a quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's my only issue with Pittsburgh is I'm like,
What if they trade for Kirk Cousins? So that's kind of in the rumor mill right now.
Okay, again, another guy who they basically they want to put J.J. McCarthy in there. So I don't know. I think that's a tough game, but on the road right now, their roster the way it is, Dave, I'm putting a W.
Yeah.
And you're going to put you put the L
I
there.
put the L there.
Okay.
Next game, home game, New Orleans, another team without. By the way, you were talking about Aaron Rodgers. If he's with Pittsburgh, he threw a pick 6 to a defensive tackle. No, it's not like I'm discounting Leonard Williams. He's an unbelievable athlete, but yeah, I mean, he just. There was a couple of times he looked bad, so I don't think he's necessarily the answer. But I'm not sure what the answer is at quarterback in New Orleans, and that's a home game. Again, went 3-6 last year at home, so and we'll get to it later. But I have them losing twice at home. But I think they're going to fix that problem.
You're taking a W on this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Tyler? Is it Shaw? Is that how you say it?
Shuck.
I mean, I'm trying to visually see his last name right now, and you know me and spelling.
I think it's like SCHOUGH or something.
I thought it was
like that.
SHOUGH. Shaw.
I think I just said that.
I thought you threw a C in there.
Oh,
SC.
did I?
Yeah.
SCH,
But
maybe.
either or, however you say his name. Again, we're talking about a rookie quarterback. They got Spencer Rattler there, so Spencer's probably capable. At home, we're going to have a better quarterback. I got to go with a W there. We got to win the home games this year,
Absolutely.
particularly when we're favored. I believe we'll be favored.
At Arizona in week 4, I have them sweeping the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, just not a fan. I don't think he's a threat. I always go back to there was an open field. I think it ended up being a sack Remember Rasheem Green, defensive tackle, kind
USC.
of undersized guy, but just a scrapper, and he made an open field, like it was starting to be a scramble. Kyler Murray always wants to run outside. Always. And, it just, if you go and look at, he is seen as this guy that's a problem, but he doesn't want to run up the middle. And so if you get in an open field situation with him, you could close your eyes and just, stay outside. And I'm just not impressed by his game, his leadership, anything. So I have them sweeping the Cardinals. I got a W there.
This, again, it's a divisional game. They're hard to win on the road. If I had picked Pittsburgh to beat us, which I didn't, then I'd probably pick Arizona to win this. And so instead of looking at it game by game, I'm starting to look at it, okay, well, are we going to start off 4-0? Yeah, I just don't think Arizona's that good.
Yeah.
I know they got some players. Maybe we'll see if Marvin Harrison Jr. takes a step. He's certainly got some skill. James Conner, we both like. Kyler Murray's very athletic. They struggle a bit on the offensive line. Evan Brown is our starting left guard right now, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't good enough to be retained by the Seahawks. Supposedly, they've improved their defense. You got to go show me. They play a bit of that undersized, hybrid defense. We're going to be a power football team this year in the running game. That's not going to be Arizona's strength. So I just talked myself into a win.
Yeah.
Because I was about to give us a loss. And this is turning into a homer. I'm 4-0 right now. And the only one, again, San Francisco is going to be a toss-up. Pittsburgh will probably end up being a toss-up. I'm thinking we've got better players than those guys do right now.
All right, well, we got to hurry up and get to the bye week here, Paul. So we're going to kind of go rapid fire through here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home in week 5. I have a loss there.
All right.
Good playoff team, end up losing to the Commanders in the playoffs. Baker Mayfield threw for 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns. It's just one of those feel things for me. I hope I'm wrong, but who do you have, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I was going to go with the Hawks on this one, but I think you're right. From a practicality standpoint, they're a playoff team. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, who's coming, I think, off an injury. If he's healthy, they've got some guys. They get one of the kids from Ohio State too, I think, and so they've got that'll be a good battle. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. But I'm going to take a loss on this one also. Just to go 5-0, everybody's going to go. They're going to tune out because they're going to think I'm just going to pick 17 wins for the Hawks.
Yeah. Next week, week 6, Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm really excited to see Travis Hunter play.
Yeah.
And really interested to see, there's a debate going on. Is he going to be a defensive guy or more defensive guy or more offensive guy? And heard somebody talking today about him playing DB, primarily, and then as a receiver maybe later in the season. But the Jags just don't impress me. So to me, that's a win.
Yeah, I'm going with the W on that one too.
Yeah.
I'm curious about Travis Hunter. He's good. And I might be wrong in my assessment. I'm like, but he's not that good. And maybe because he had to play both positions. Maybe it's because of Colorado. Maybe it was some of the competition they went up against. He wins the Heisman. Everybody I've talked to or anybody's written said he is so elite and he's this special player. I think it's special of guys like Deion Sanders. I saw him coming out of college. Saw him live. That was unbelievable.
Yeah. And
maybe Travis Hunter's that. So I'm more curious, but I think this is a game we win, even though it's on the road. And Jacksonville 2 years ago was a playoff team.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I don't have a lot of losses at home. Well, I only have 2. I have Tampa Bay, and then this is a Monday Night Football game. Houston Texans, just really well coached, made the playoffs last year. Who did they end up losing to? Was it Jackson or was it Baltimore? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, well,
anyway, Houston Texans, I think well coached. D'Amico Ryan's one of my favorite coaches. It's a Monday Night Football game. I'm going to say that's going to be an L there. I think they're going to lose. And those are the only 2.
No.
I have Tampa Bay and Houston.
No.
as losses at home.
Now, this is the point where we say, okay, it's Monday Night Football. Lumen Field is back. The Seahawks are for real. They're 1 game away or 2 games away at this point when they win from covering the over for all those people who went and put money on that one. I am going to go with a W on that one. And I know this feels homery, but I'm like, it's at home. This is Seahawk home game. This is 12 time. I don't think Houston's going to travel great. They don't have a huge following yet. I mean, it's a relatively new franchise. Everybody thinks, oh, it's the old Oilers. No, it's not. The Oilers went to Tennessee. Okay? That's not the same franchise. This is Houston. It's a new franchise. So I'm going with a W. I'm 6-1 at the bye, and you're 5-2.
Yeah. Actually, I'm 4-3. Yeah, because
You
I
took 3
have Tampa,
Wow.
Houston, and Pittsburgh. And
You're no homer.
apparently,
You're no homer. Matter of fact, I'm questioning your loyalty.
I love the Seahawks. Yeah, so we're going to have to get to the rest of that. But right now, let's take 2.
This just in from Adam Schefter. The San Francisco 49ers and quarterback Brock Purdy are finalizing a 5-year, $265 million contract.
What do you think, Paul? I mean, this was a big deal with him. Over $50 million a year. I think Brock Purdy is good, but there's always the question, like, okay, is it the system? Is it, what about a team that, let's say that they become the Seahawks of last year? They can't run the ball. You got to put the ball in Brock Purdy's hands. Do you trust him?
I think Brock's very good. He's better than, first couple of years when I was saying, we'll get to him. He struggles. There's no question. He struggles with pressure, like most quarterbacks do, but he struggles with pressure because his arm isn't great. And where I think the Seahawks have a bit of an edge there is McDonald knows where the ball's going, and he teaches it very well. And so if you can take away his primary quickly and make him have to go really all the way backside as fast as you can with good pressure, he struggled. I mean, I thought we played pretty well versus him last year. I might be wrong. It's just I don't have the statistics in front of me. But if I was him, I'd hold out for more. That's 265 is not enough for me. Maybe 270 million. Dave, that kind of money, Dave, you could take 2 zeros off in what I made. I mean, it's funny money. I mean, this
really
is. It's beyond generational wealth.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. But, good for him. He's a great guy that really humble. I mean, he's, for a quarterback on a divisional rival, I actually like him.
The Mariners begin their 10-game road trip tonight against San Diego Padres. First pitch is at 6:40. You can hear the game here on 710 or watch it on Apple TV.
Oh, Apple TV.
Apple TV.
I can't wait.
Which means you'll be listening tonight.
Yes.
Might be doing both.
I might be going out to dinner.
I do that now.
Yeah. Are you okay with because this is kind of the grumpy old man show.
No, I'm talking about the Mariner games.
Yeah.
I like radio. I
Yeah.
like the radio.
Yeah.
And I have a few favorites that I like listed. Look, if Dave Valley's in the booth,
Yeah.
I'm listening. Dave Valley has played. He's managed. He was a catcher. He's been through every minor league system.
Yeah.
He's been the Dominican. He knows globally the players, the stories you get from Dave Valley. It's for the life of me, I don't understand why we're not using him. It drives me crazy. But I like Riz, and we're going to have Gary on
Gary's
here. I mean, I
fantastic.
like their
Shannon.
voices. There's something about the description. I like Goldie, too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But there's something about if I can sync up the radio broadcast with the TV, I've kind of been known to do that.
There you go. Hey, Take 2 is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, John Schneider has some high expectations for Sam Darnold this season, and you'll hear what he told Rich Eisen. That's next. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. It's Wyman and Bob with Paul Moyer.
After a tough homestand,
Next offer to Judd, swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. The Yankees have the lead.
the first-place Mariners are back on the road. where they've been at their best so far this season. Call them the Road Warriors.
In the clutch.
Tonight, the M's kick off a 10-game trip in the first of 3 against the Padres. First pitch at 6:40, with Wyman and Bob taking you up to pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus One Unlimited Welcome Line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One Unlimited Starter SL Line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
Hey, it's Graz here. Getting a quick round or rain session in before work makes the day so much more fun and is a big-time stress reliever. Take advantage of one of the 11 local premier courses nearby. Inner Bay, Jackson, Bill Wright, West Seattle, Cedar Crest, Bellevue, Linwood, Walter Hall, Legion Memorial, Lake Padden, and the newest course, the Ocean Shores Golf Course. Practice on the range with Top Tracer at Jackson, Inner Bay, and Bill Wright Golf Complex. Play the courses, play virtual, play premier, premiergolfcenters.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Hey, it's Bump for West Hills Ford, the big Ford store. Right now, during the From America for America event, Ford is offering employee pricing to all U.S. shoppers on many new Ford models. Lease the 2024 Ford F-150 STX four-wheel drive Super Crew, only $549 per month for 36 months, with $4,999 duet signing on improved credit. West Hill Ford, the big Ford store, just off the Auto Center Way exit. Highway 3, Bremerton, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it! Four down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. Which you said you'd go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimer.
My wife and I have been married for over 15 years, and I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after I turned 40, things started feeling different. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and I just wasn't interested in sex anymore. My wife told me her friend's husband went through the same thing, and it turns out he had low testosterone. So we booked a free T-check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that my testosterone levels were low too. We worked with a provider to create a custom treatment plan, and today, my wife and I are having more fun than we did on our honeymoon. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Welcome to Wyman and Bob with Paul Moyer. Hey, if you missed any of our show or just want to go watch things again, check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and search for Seattle Sports on all social media platforms to find segments like our conversations with Seahawk players, Mariner players, and much more. And even John Schneider, who was on the Rich Eisen show, Paul, talking about quarterbacks. And, you know, he was asked about what his expectation level was for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, very high, very high. You know, you can see the progress, as you stated, you know, getting with the group and, you know, Kyle and those guys in San Francisco, and then where Kevin and his group, you know, took it last year. He just keeps making really cool progress every year. And, you know, to have, you know, a system, you know, established system in place that he's played in and comfortable with is a big deal. And so, you know, great human, great competitor. He's been a great leader so far. Yeah, I know you guys know him well, but excited to get him in the building.
Yeah, you know, he was at the game the other day when Mike McDonald threw out the first pitch. Did you see that Adam Ray goes out there
that was great.
And falls down, and now he has to go to the backup pitcher, and in comes Mike McDonald. But
what a throw!
Yeah,
he
was a good baseball player.
I mean, he right
Coming
from the ear, and
yeah,
you know, the greatest one ever was when President Bush, you know, did that. I mean, you know, just the pressure, and he went to the mound. He actually had a bulletproof vest on underneath it, and the story leading up to that, and it was just a cannon. That one was really good after Ray kind of makes a joke of it, brings him out. Now you got all this pressure to throw it from the mound, and that was nicely done.
Well, and the reason I brought that up is just because Sam Darnold was up there also, and Bob and Mike Lefko got a chance to kind of hang out with him, and it's interesting. You know, we've kind of talked a lot this year, Paul, during the offseason about it being the year of the coach and how important coaching is, and not only with the Seahawks but the Mariners. You know, with the messaging with the hitting side of it, and then same thing here. I just think this offense is going to do a lot of players a lot of good. And Clint Kubiak, having worked with Sam Darnold, you know, before, and Darnold, I mean, I think he had some other opportunities to go other places. He wanted to go where, you know, Clint Kubiak was going to be. And so, yeah, after having experienced that with the 49ers, I'm really interested to see if, you know, because we saw that, you know, he was unlocked last year because of coaching, I think, because of O'Connell. And, you know, I think this is going to just continue for him. But not only for Sam Darnold, but also the offensive line. But, yeah, I think it's you know, if you look at it that way, and if John's right, I mean, he's, you know, throwing out the message, hey, our expectations are very high. Maybe that's what the difference is. You and I were just going through the schedule, and in Vegas, they're talking about a 7.5 over/under. Maybe that's part of it, is that they expect Sam Darnold to be the guy that he was the last 2 games of the season.
That's weird. I mean, the man had 35 touchdowns with 10, 11 interceptions, whatever the number was last year.
Remember the throw he made here?
It was a great throw.
Justin
Beat us.
Jefferson to beat us. Yeah, steps up in the pocket, on the run, kind of. Just a perfect.
Kind of to his left, too. Yeah, it was a beautiful throw. You know, I think Julian Love thought he was going to get that one, but no, he can make all the throws. You know, and there's a perception reality. You know, there's a perception still, oh, it's Sam Darnold. He just had one good year.
Yeah.
Well, he's 27 years old. Maybe he finally got the right opportunity, and now the trajectory is in favor for the Seahawks. If he throws 35 touchdowns, Dave, and 10 interceptions, what's our record?
I like it. Maybe 11-6, like I predicted.
12-5. I'm serious. I mean, with a running game and the defense, if he comes close to those numbers, the only reason why I say that, last year we didn't make the playoffs by a tiebreaker, basically, right? And we had a quarterback who threw for 21 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, and 14 interceptions. So we can get that turned around. Should be good.
Well, and then Rich Eisen also, and there's been a lot of discussion about Jalen Milroe. I think everybody got really excited, you know, when that happened. And
I'm excited.
We were talking about, you know, all these different packages that they could have with him in there, and but John Schneider asked him, or he was asked by Rich Eisen about what Milroe's ceiling would be.
Yeah, obviously high ceiling. And, you know, all these guys that come in, you know, we had last year's class was, you know, kind of a unicorn, really. But all these guys coming in, it takes a minute now. It takes a lot of time for these guys to develop and, you know, get those pro reps and you know, several different coordinators. I think like 3 or 4 coordinators in college and several position coaches. So again, getting him in a system where, you know, he can be comfortable and the staff's going to try to, you know, do some unique things with him, the offensive staff. And so, yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I think that the real thing with him is going to be, can they make a lot of headway as far as developing him as an NFL quarterback? But in the meantime, using him as a weapon. Daniel Jeremiah kind of pumped the brakes on that a little bit a couple of weeks ago when, you know, everybody was kind of talking about using him in these different packages, getting him in on short yardage downs and things like that. And, you know, and you've coached in the NFL. So I'm just wondering if you felt the same way, Paul, because what Daniel Jeremiah said basically is a lot of times those things are good ideas upstairs, but they don't typically make it on the field. And the one thing I went to is like, look, man, Sam Darnold's your quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, you need to get him in a rhythm, and you can't be, you know, because people talked about maybe 10 times a game, put Milroe in, and like, I don't know. I mean, how does that affect Sam Darnold and his flow in the game? And, you know, I think
I don't like him either, Dave. And it's not just that. It's time that I got to go game plan for it. So that takes time away from the coaches. And then I got to implement it, and I got to get everybody on board. And then we're going to learn these, you know, 10 plays that we may only run 2, you know, or 3 of them. I don't love it. Here's what I'm hoping from Jalen. He's been in a somewhat of a pro-style offense before. You got to go back 2 years with Saban, you know, and 3 years at that point. Last year, that transition when DeBoer came to Alabama, and if you go and look at his numbers dropped. I mean, his completion percentage dropped, his yards per attempt dropped. His rushing was pretty big. I think he led Alabama in rushing last year. But if you go back and look 2 years ago, he had a lot of yards also, but he was 5th in rushing with Alabama. So I look at that and say, okay, if he ever does get an opportunity to play, you're going to get a guy who's going to rush for 300 to 600 yards as a quarterback. And you're going to have certain plays that he's very good at. What I'm excited is he's an unbelievable athlete, like, you know, as elite as you can get. He's got a pretty simple throwing motion, Dave. I mean, it's right. It's not long. It's right from the ear. It's pretty short and compact. It's strong. It's not that he's not accurate. I think he is. I just think he needs to learn to live within the pocket and timing and not rely on all of his athletic ability, which he was able to do at Alabama because they got such a great line, so many great athletes. So, yep, he's got some learning to do, but I think this, you know, let's talk about this, you know, a couple of years from now. Yeah. This could be one of the better draft picks we've had in Seahawk history if this thing plays out right.
Well, the other thing you hear about him, and this is absolutely necessary if you're a quarterback, is that he's just a fantastic kid.
I love him.
I mean, everybody loves him, and everything that you hear about him is nothing but positive. All right, coming up next, an old favorite returns with a new twist. What's bugging Paul? That's coming up next. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Only Brock and Salk in Seattle Sports go one-on-one with Raiders head coach Pete Carroll. Dude, that still sounds so weird.
Are you kidding me?
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
What's happening, fellas? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. It's been a while. How
I
are you?
bet. I get it. Yeah. You haven't called me once. What are you talking about? Doing great. We're having a blast. The energy around this building is really familiar and really fun.
The whole conversation's on video. Watch it on YouTube or the Seattle Sports app.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come to work for IRG. With just over 40 locations in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, you have the opportunity to work in the city and place you want with a great team, a great atmosphere, and great mentorship.
Shannon, what type of staff are you looking to hire? Is it just clinical staff right now?
We are looking to hire not only physical therapists, but also occupational therapists, exercise techs, athletic trainers, front office coordinators. We have a whole platform of different services we provide to the community.
Over 40 clinics in the Pacific Northwest. There are openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers and apply today. But Shannon, will they have any fun coming to work at IRG?
Oh my gosh, Brock, that's what it's all about. We want to have fun. We're all about passion. We're all about positivity. We want people to change lives. That's what we're doing here at IRG. We're changing lives, not only of our employees, our patients, and our communities. We want you to be your best self.
So head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers, and apply today.
Georgetown License reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Please make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare for a safe ride home. Best wishes to the class of 2025 from the entire team at Georgetown License, taking care of all your vehicle and vessel licensing needs for over 30 years. Online at georgetownlicense.com.
The first Mariners Fireworks Night is coming up, and we're starting things off with a bang. Be here on Friday, May 30th for our K-Pop Fireworks Show, presented by T-Mobile, after the team takes on the Twins at 7:10.
Jorge Polanco, his second home run of the night. He is absolutely on fire.
Get ready for an epic dance party as we light up the sky with a post-game show powered by the biggest global hits. Visit Mariners.com/fireworks to get your tickets today.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way
over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
What's bugging Paul?
It could be traffic.
Hey.
It might be Angels fans.
I hate you. I don't even know you.
And it's definitely Stephen A. Smith.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
It's time to find out what's bugging
Paul.
Bob.
It's not often that we change things around for a guest host.
Wow.
Yeah. It was very well done, Matt.
You should feel honored, Paul. That was hours of editing.
I'm impressed. I just found out an hour ago I was doing this show, so it's really good.
Yeah, and then you unleashed a whole river of complaints.
Well,
so
it's not
it's
I had
therapeutic.
topics.
It's a safe place, Paul.
I'm a little nervous about the safe place that's going out amongst the world to listen to and all these things. So,
what's bugging Paul? Here's what I would say as far as a driver. Am I aggressive? I'm pretty aggressive, but my main thing is I don't want to be in my car. I want to be where I'm going as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly can. So, and I think some people, I know my wife thinks that I drive sort of aggressively, but I pay attention. Mm-hmm. I pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm not drifting off doing other things like other people do in their car. And so my biggest complaint has been that
other people. Shannon, are you listening?
No, I'm not naming names.
Okay.
Not naming names. But my biggest complaint over the years and most consistent is, and it happened to me the other day, the roundabout. It's not a stop sign at all.
Yeah, they haven't figured that out. Huh?
At all.
Yeah.
You merge. There's a space open, enter the roundabout.
Yes.
You don't stop there. Anyway, that's my biggest problem, and that's part of the efficiency that I'm talking about. That I want to get somewhere. I don't want to sit here in my car. Car's fine. I don't really care. That I have to be in a car or whatever. But I want to be where I'm going, and that's
I get
the
that.
nature
I
of
get that.
most of my complaining.
Especially if there was a stop sign at one point, and it's new. And by the way, on normally what's bugging Bob. Do you get to throw in some yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but Bob's the king.
He's the king of it.
Yeah.
Because I get it.
And
There's a lot of things bugging Bob.
Once something bugs him, it's not going to unbug him. You know what I mean? I say this about Bob, that, when he thinks something, he's not going to unthink it.
So what's bugging Bob, Paul, as I think about it, I go, what's bugging somebody for Bob is, when you say it over and over again, you know it's bugging them, right? And so I had to think about. So there's two things that are bugging me, and there's one that's a new one. I don't know if I can get to it. But since you just talked about the roundabout, so we have a house in Texas and a place here as well. And so I do a little commuting. And my wife, because we have our fourth granddaughter coming this July, is down in Texas a lot. She's in our Dallas home. So she's come back for the first time in like 8 months. You know, I've been down there a bunch. But when you're separate, she's used to driving and I'm used to driving. And usually when we're together, I drive. But she's kind of taken over that role, Dave. She's taken over that role where she wants to drive, particularly when I'm in Dallas because it's her car. And I'm like, oh, man. And my wife likes to look, right? She doesn't use the rearview mirrors or the side mirrors. Now, so she turns to look for cars. But then she'll look back and she'll point to a house. Did you see how cute that house? She's still looking. And as I'm looking at the cars that are stopping, and my hand is grabbing the side door, and my foot is pressing the make-believe brake. And I'm like, man, she goes, I'm the best driver in this family. I go, no, you're not. She goes, I'm the best merger. She goes, I've never been in an accident. And I always use this one. I go, but can you pay attention to what's in front of you? She goes, I've never been in an accident. I go, I know. There's a lot of people who drink and drive have never been pulled over. It doesn't make it right. All right? Look ahead. Put the phone down. Actually, she doesn't use the phone. We don't text. So that's one, but she's back, and I'm going to try and slowly start driving. We'll see how that works. But here's my biggest one that's bugging me. Two of them. One is the Mariners mess with us, right? Last year, they changed play-by-play guys. You got Goldie, you have Sims, and I'm a creature of habit. I like to know when I sit down what I'm going to listen to. And broadcasting is also subjective. It's kind of like music. My wife hates my music, Dave, and you hate my music. You and my wife, you guys like same kind of music. I like some country. I like some gospel. She wants some hard rock and roll, 90s, 70s, all that stuff. That's who I am.
Wow.
My son and I are into the gospel. Okay. And so I don't really get to control that. But I'm a creature of habit. I like certain things. So last year it drove me crazy, and I complained about it all. I go, just let me know who my play-by-play guy is. And then you settle in, you get used to it. This year they start off, and they got three. Again, all three, great. This isn't a knock on any of them. I mean, I love them all, the good people. But here's what bugged me. The other night, I'm driving home, and I'm listening to Ryan Rowland Smith. He's on the color on the radio. I said, okay. I'm listening. That's good. And then I see post-game, and then the next day pre-game, and I got Dave Valley doing the pre-game and the post-game. And I'm like, Dave Valley's knowledge during a game, you got to have him in the booth. You got to. Now, again, you can have three people. I don't really care. I go, Ryan Rowland Smith, the stuff he talks about from a pitching stand, I go, it drives me crazy that we're leaving this type of skill on the sideline. I'm just, and the other thing is, that we're starting to settle in now. At least I know who's doing the color. It looks like, where they've settled in on TV and radio a little bit. I'm not 100%. So at least I know who's there, and I'm comfortable with that. But I tell you what, it drives me crazy that you got some talents out there, and we're not including them. So that's
you're
my
not
rant.
Detracting from anyone. You're just saying
No. I like Angie. I like Goldie.
Yeah.
I like all of them.
You just want more Valley.
I need more Valley. You've got Ryan Rowland Smith, who has he's learning, and he's got a ton of knowledge. I'm just like, we're wasting these people. And again, I'm fine pre, post, all that. I get a lot from those guys. Yeah. But for 2.5, 3 hours, man, I just want them a part of that. I mean, again, Angie's good, but she could also pull from them, right? It would just, to me, make a better broadcast for 3 hours. So, and then maybe Goldie says, 3 people's too much. They had Jay in the booth one time with Angie, and they had 2 different skill sets. And so it was intriguing to listen to that, and Goldie's got to work that. So that's bugging me. So I'm going to get off that one, and here's my last one real quick.
Okay.
Man, it's the bike lanes again, Dave. It's a bike lane again on 7th and Union. 7th and Union. I leave my office. I've got to make a left on 8th Street so I can get home, go 520 up to Olive.
Yeah.
Dave, they have a left turn lane, and then they have a straight lane, and the left turn lane is red, and the straight lane is green for 2 minutes, Dave. And the reason why I can't make a left is because of the bike lanes that no bikes are using. There's not one. Why don't they let me make a left first and then for 15 seconds let the bikes go through? No, it's 2 minutes. I wait for the bikes and then 15 seconds to the left.
The bikes are a priority.
Dave, I'm okay with that. I'm not a hater of bike people. But my goodness, there are so many cars that are trying to make a left, and there's not one bike. Can we do technology? Can we do anything? Can we just switch it around? And so the bike lane and the broadcast are the two that I bring up all the time.
Okay.
So that's what's bugging me.
The 253, the only thing that came through to them is he said, bold move by Paul. What's bugging Paul? His wife. Can't wait to see how it works out for him.
She never listens, so I'm good.
That's a thing too. Yeah, my wife would. She told me that she doesn't like listening to people talk on the radio.
Dave, my wife's at 3:30 yesterday. She goes, "When are you coming on the air?" I go, "I'm on with Dave and Bob every Thursday at 3 o'clock for the last 2-3 years."
I used to text my kids that. They would call during the show, and I'm like, I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but I've had a talk show for about 12 years now. And so I'm on the air right now.
My son, he'll call me during a Seahawk football game.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you not know that I do the pre and post show? And by the way, we've been married 37 years, so I'm good.
It's all good.
I'm good.
All good. All right. Hey, who better to talk to about the Seahawks than the man who is with them every single day? That's Seahawks reporter John Boyle. That's up next. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
After a tough homestand,
next offer to Judd, swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. The Yankees have the lead.
The first-place Mariners are back on the road, where they've been at their best so far this season. Call them the Road Warriors.
In the clutch.
Tonight, the M's kick off a 10-game trip in the first of 3 against the Padres. First pitch at 6:40, with Wyman and Bob taking you up to pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus One Unlimited Welcome Line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One Unlimited Starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Synthetic Turf Northwest is now open in Fife, the South Sound headquarters for premium synthetic turf. They help homeowners with a turnkey solution, DIYers, and contractors and landscapers needing quality products. With premium turf in stock, expert advice, and pro installation services, everything you need is under one roof. Visit their new showroom off I-5 in Fife, Synthetic Turf Northwest. Supplies and installation expertise all in one place. Mention radio for up to $1,000 off. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Bassett.
There are very few players more valuable.
Every Thursday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
I think Cal Raleigh is to the Seattle Mariners.
Listen live on 710 or the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Your Seattle Mariners embark on a 10-game road trip tonight, facing the San Diego Padres, Chicago White Sox, and a 4-game series against the hated Houston Astros. Logan Evans is your pitcher tonight. Mariner hitters will face right-handed pitcher Stephen Kolek, and over the weekend it'll be Emerson Hancock and Brian Wu on the mound. The Mariners currently lead the AL West with a 23-19 record. They're 10-8 on the road this year and have won 5 series on the road this season. You can hear the whole thing right here. First pitch tonight is at 6:40, and the pregame show starts at 5:30.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. We got Paul Moyer in today, and right now on the phone we've got John Boyle. John, how you doing, man?
I am doing very well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. You do a great job with Seahawks.com, and it just seems like the NFL just continues to provide news, and the schedule being such a big deal. Paul and I were talking about this, John, that like when I was a player, I don't even remember the schedule coming out. I think I looked at maybe the first game, but now with all the social media stuff and everything, it's a huge deal, man. It just gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, to your initial point, the NFL has gotten very good at making events out of off-season stuff. I mean, the draft being the biggest of them, but keeping the fan interest up is something they're good at. And yeah, the schedule release has become it's kind of this like one-upsmanship amongst team media, social media departments trying to come up with clever new ways to announce the schedule, which actually started kind of with a video we did back in 2016. So we might have unleashed more than we meant to at the time. But hey, it's a good time. Yeah, we had a video cupcake making, like cooking video at the schedule in 2016 that sort of inadvertently started this in a way. So
cool.
Schedule release has become a big deal. It's fun. I think it's also just fun for a lot of fans. Obviously, the people who work in the league and work for teams and all that, it affects their lives. But a lot of fans plan a lot of their all-around games, whether it's their season ticket holders, so they want to know when the home games are, or they want to go on road games. So it is, even though it's kind of become a big, silly production, it is an important time for people to just kind of figure out their falls.
So it feels like a dead time in the NFL, and obviously a good time to probably release the schedule, what they did last week. But with the salary cap, the Seahawks have 25 to 31 million in salary cap. I think the effective cap is around 25 million. And when you go on to some of those sites, it shows pre-cut someone before June 1st and then post June 1st. So what is going on? What's the next wave of news coming from the NFL? And is it free agency? Do people start letting veterans go here coming up in the next few weeks?
Yeah, we've actually seen a little bit of kind of the next wave post-draft of, some of these veteran free agents who don't sign right away. Teams will, keep in touch with them but say, hey, let's revisit this after the draft. Just because teams want to see what they get in the draft before they know what they need to address. And B, after, I think it's May 1st is the date, these signings don't count towards a compensatory pick formula for next year's draft. So, like bringing Jonathan Hankinson, that's a guy that they've kept in communication with all along. They didn't draft a nose tackle type interior lineman, so they call him up after the draft, bring him in. I know there's been reports about a couple of cornerbacks they've talked to. I think it's sort of that later wave of veteran free agency is the next big thing. And then, really for teams just really starting to get more into football is, players are here for the off-season workouts. It's not really real football yet, but they'll start to get into the OTAs where it looks a little more like football here later this month and into next month. So, yeah, I think the next part is just filling out the roster with some of those free agent signings.
So effective salary cap of $25 million. And I'm not sure if we got all of the rookies signed. I thought I read somewhere that was close. What do we do with that money?
John Schneider always talks about wanting to be flexible in the season. So, they've been known to make some big midseason trades. So I think part of that is wanting to keep, first of all, you just need a little extra money, and that's, you use the term effective cap space. Teams all budget some extra money for just signing guys in season, when guys go on IR, all of that. I wouldn't rule out them taking a swing on a trade if there's a veteran guy they like who becomes available either, in August when cuts happen, or, maybe another team has a player with a contract dispute that they decide to move on, or obviously there's the in-season trade. So I think that's probably when John Schneider talks about wanting to maintain the flexibility. There's some young guys they could extend that might eat up some of that space, guys going to their final year of their contracts from the 2022 draft class. And then, obviously they're not trying to save money, but if you don't find good uses for that all, you are able to roll that into next year. That cap space does roll over, so it's not the end of the world if they don't spend every penny, because that'll just help them in 2026.
Hey, John, so, what's amazing, because we get texters, of course, and, people that call in and all that. It was a complaint-free draft. I did not hear a lot of complaining. I happened to, a major need happened to line up with who they picked with Gray Zabel in the first round. But, just as far as, the vibe in the building and everything, you're down there every day. It seems like everybody is generally very happy about this draft.
Yeah, John Schneider always likes to joke, you don't ever hear anybody coming out of the draft like, oh, we really botched that one. You're always going to be excited about it, but or the other one, saying, a surgeon doesn't say the surgery didn't go well, but it's, it does feel like a draft, to your point initially, is there wasn't a lot to dislike about it. It was they knew it. No one was hiding from the fact that they need to bolster their line. And then sure enough, as you said, it lined up for them that the guy that they had kind of targeted as their top interior guy was available. They got aggressive to move up and get Nick Emanwari, who was the guy that they had a first-round grade on, and they were even trying to get back into the end of the first round to get him, and that trade didn't come through, but they were able to get him at 35. So, they got some guys they like. They, I think addressed some positions of need. Got a couple of receivers later on when that's a position that, obviously you love Cooper Kupp and JSN, but beyond those two, there's not a lot of proven guys there, so good chance to compete. So it's, more linemen to kind of fill it out on the back end of the competition there. So, really good draft class. They're, starting to get a glimpse of these guys in the off-season workouts, but it'll be fun to see them as we get closer to training camp and more real football stuff to see how they sort of acclimate with all the veterans out there.
Dave and I went through the schedule. I won't ask you anything about the schedule because the schedule's the schedule. But we went through each game up to the bye week. I've got the Hawks at 6-1, and I get it. There's a couple of 50-50 games I'm throwing to the Seahawks side. Dave has them at 4-3. But the weird one is, nationally, the over-under for wins for the Seahawks is 7.5, and most of them have the Seahawks in last in the West. It's not like I see the 49ers have gotten a lot better. The Rams, the Cardinals. What do you think of that? And what do you think the reason is for it?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that as well. That, there's a team that they won 10 games last year. They finished a lot better than they started in terms of, they went 6-2 down the stretch, and Mike McDonald's defense got really good. So I'm guessing it's, I think two things are at play. I think Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers, have probably fairly earned a lot of benefit of the doubt with his track record that people think they're going to bounce back. Now, whether you or I believe that doesn't really matter to the gamblers, but the people who set those lines. But I think they expect them to be better. And, if a one team in the division gets stronger, it can come at the expense of other teams. And then I guess maybe it's just, there's such an offensive driven league and quarterback driven league that when you change coordinators, you move on from your quarterback and bring in a guy who, Sam Darnold obviously had a great year, but just trying to think from the outside view who people aren't as high on the Seahawks, they might wonder, how repeatable that is. But to me, it's like they went 6-2 down the stretch last year, not because their offense was lighting people up. I mean, they struggled offensively a lot of that stretch, but their defense was playing so good. So I like what they did bringing in Clint Kubiak in this scheme that's going to be more balanced. They're going to run the ball better. I think it'll help the offensive line play a lot better. So it's like, even with the guys you got rid of at receiver and the changes you made, I think they've done a good job bringing in guys like Cooper Kupp, like Sam Darnold to replace the guys they lost. But B, I think schematically this offense is going to be a better place, and you combine that with a defense that I think is going to be one of the best in the NFL this year. Those win totals we're seeing don't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, what have you noticed about McDonald? Because it's always tough coming in, and he's a young guy. And, he's taken over this whole organization. And, the thing that really impressed me last year, John, was that they didn't wait till the end of the year to fix the linebacker situation. It was like, okay, this is, he was very decisive about it. And but as far as, going into the second year, it's kind of like, I equate it to when I was a rookie, I was lost. But when I came back my second year, I wasn't totally lost, but you know what I mean.
You're pretty lost.
A little less lost.
You're pretty lost.
Paul says I was lost.
Yeah, he's lost. He's a rookie.
Yeah, but you come back your second year, and just what have you noticed about McDonald, the way he carries himself, the things he says, what he does, all that stuff being in his second year?
Yeah, I think, I thought he carried himself really well as a first-year coach and did a lot of things really well, but that's the kind of job that it's such a huge job, no matter how prepared you think you are or the team that hires you think you are, it's a lot is going to go on that you just weren't quite ready for and that you're going to learn from. So I think just as you said, a rookie player can make a big jump in year two. I think coaches benefit a ton from that, and especially on defense where they have so much continuity both schematically and personnel-wise. I think you're just going to see that unit hit the ground running and be so much further ahead than they are. And I think you're just going to see Mike McDonald be a lot more comfortable in that job in all regards. I mean, I think he's never going to be the most outgoing, gregarious guy publicly, but we're starting to see little glimpses of his personality come out a little bit more. Especially behind the scenes stuff made fans don't get to see, but being around him a little bit, like at the Combine and the Senior Bowl, it just feels like not that he was uncomfortable in the job last year, but I think just having been through everything once already, I just think he's going to be a lot more comfortable, a lot more settled in that job, and I think the team will benefit from it.
Yeah, he seemed more comfortable even during the draft, and having the conversations with him and John. And going to kind of transition to this one. I don't want this to be a negative at all. We had Rich Eisen who interviewed Pete Carroll, and the question I want to ask is from that is it sounded like Pete said it was truly a mutual decision to move on from him, and that John may have said, the direction of the team, it was different than what Pete had at that point. Do you think John's philosophy is tied tighter to now McDonald than it was Pete? And I know they're similar in that they want to win with defense and the running game, but it sounds like maybe from a player standpoint, John and Pete maybe were on the same page all the time.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think overall those two were in incredible harmony for as long as they did that job together, as tightly knit as they were, and you never really heard any grumblings of anything. For that to last that long in the high pressure league that this is, that's pretty remarkable. But yeah, I mean, you're not gonna see everything eye to eye. I don't want to speculate on how things went down, but I will say to what specifically what you're talking about, Pete Carroll said about them seeing eye to eye. I got the impression that maybe what he meant there is like coaches, they're closer to these players, and Pete Carroll especially is a coach that really connects with players. It is not transactional for him, and I think we've seen it where it might be harder for him to move on in a business sense when it's, hey, we got to move on from Tyler Lockett just because of the financials, or it might be time to think about trading Geno Smith if we can't get a deal done. Whereas like he, in part, I think this, I don't say this in a bad way, I think this is part of what makes him such an outstanding coach. He really connects with his players. And I think maybe he looked at the way things were playing out down the road and looking ahead and saying, like, I don't know if I want to do some of the things I know John Schneider wants to do. And as I think he's, I think he's telling the truth that he wanted to also see John Schneider sort of have his chance where he is clearly the voice in charge. And it's overblown that like Pete was in charge and John Schneider wasn't doing anything before. He was making a lot of huge decisions as the GM this entire time. But I think, maybe the public perception changes a little bit when John Schneider gets to hire his own coach and kind of be that final voice.
Yeah. You bring up a great point there, John. I mean, that's, you got a couple of, that's lots of ego there, sure. No question. And I don't mean that in a bad way, in a negative sense. It's just that for them to have survived together and the way, and I know John never spoke an ill word about Pete that I ever heard, and same thing. And so to have it for that long, that's pretty
good
marriage.
It's an incredible.
That's really hard to do in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, anything stand out to you in the as far as the schedule release goes? I know that like my wife and her friends were, like, oh, hey, we got this game and we want to meet you there and everything. And it's become like we've made it into a huge deal, but also it is a huge deal for people. And so anything stand out to you? Any special trips? Were you kind of hoping for international game or anything like that?
Yeah, I always, the couple times we've done that, it's been awesome. So when it's, in theory, a possibility because you're playing, we knew that Pittsburgh was hosting the game in Ireland. We knew Jackson was hosting the game. As it got close to schedule release, all the reports were that it wasn't going to be the Seahawks, but I would have certainly welcomed that. Maybe it'll be next year when Seahawks have 9 home games. Maybe they'll give up a home game and go overseas. But yeah, it's, probably for my wife and kids' sake, it's good we don't have those, but I would never turn down a chance to go see another country and experience that. Those 2 international games we've had have been a lot of fun. But, yeah, I think, overall, looking at the schedule, it's, much like the draft, I feel like there's not a lot to complain about. It's like they don't have any just brutal stretches where you're like, man, the league really did them dirty with, the Monday, Sunday, Thursday type situation like that last year, or just a brutal stretch of road games or something. You got a mid-season bye. I think it's a pretty fair, back and forth home road kind of alternating game. So I think it's a pretty fair schedule. And like you guys said off the jump, like I think I look at that and I think they got a chance to get off to a good start and go into the bye with some momentum. But you also just never know. I mean, every year there's a couple teams you thought were going to be really good that aren't so good. And there's a couple teams nobody thought was going to be very good who, Washington last year, they won 12 games when they were the number 2 pick in the draft. So it's hard to play the looking ahead and make predictions game now because you just don't know how teams' fates are going to go.
Yeah, it's funny when the 49ers, they say, have the easiest schedule going back, however many, since 2008. That was last year. This is the NFL. Yeah. No one stays pat. There's free agency, there's cap space, there's drafts along the way. But, the one thing, John, I'm looking at this schedule. There's not a quarterback on that list where I go, that's a problem. Now, there's some good ones. Obviously, in our division, there's 3 quarterbacks more than capable. But is there a game out there that you go, man, I don't think we're going to win that one?
I mean, no, I'm in that building. I can't be 100% unbiased here, but I don't look at any games on the schedule and be like, oh boy, that's just a killer. Like, the division games are all going to be tough. You mentioned quarterbacks. Matt Stafford, when he's right and they're protecting him, is still just as deadly as they get at that position. The rookie in Washington, Jaden Daniels, he's phenomenal talent, and he's going to be a headache for a defensive coach because of what he can do. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good teams on there. I'm not going to say the Seahawks are going to win them all or win them easily or anything like that, but I do think that, and to me, this is as much reflection of the team they built than any of their opponents. I think they've got a team that can play with anybody.
15-2. That's what John Boyle just said. Let's go.
I did not. unless they do that, then go ahead and.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, then you say, I told you guys. Yeah. Hey, John, we really appreciate you taking the time and coming on with us, and we'll see you soon, man.
Hey, no problem. Happy to do it.
Thanks, John.
There he goes, John Boyle from Seahawks.com. You can read his stuff there. Does a great job. I think he has a mailbag where you can send in emails and things like that. But
good guy too.
Yeah, and just around the team constantly. So I mean, there's a lot of juice in that building, as Pete Carroll used to say. There's a lot of juice down there, and that and again, like I said, it just this year we hardly heard any complaints. I mean,
Is that a good thing or a bad thing for radio?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, usually people are complaining, and gosh, now that DK's gone, that was like our number one complaint. And Bob and I were pretty similar on that. That we both thought that DK was a really good player, and I think deep down he's a really good guy. I don't know why he wasn't happy here, but yeah, I mean that was the biggest complaint. Other than that, it was pretty much the draft.
Yeah, I was looking at the salary cap part, and the 49ers are favored to win the West again. And I was looking, I go, well, maybe it's because they got so much cap space. They got rid of so many guys. I mean, Greenlaw, you and I both loved him. I mean, they got their starting safety, their starting corner, their starting linebacker. I mean, they're going to take a hit defensively. And the reason why they had to let all those guys, they got to sign Brock Purdy. Well, they just did for $275 million. And I don't know what that's going to hit from a cap space, but right now they're showing that they have 45 or 42 million in cap space available. And that's about gone. Mm-hmm. Maybe it costs, I don't know what the salary cap will hit. I mean, it's got to be, 20 plus million, I would think, even the way they do the salary cap. So people are so high on the 49ers. I get it. But if you go and look at the last 6 years, they've had 3 winning seasons. They've had some where they haven't won. And now their team is decimated. And one of their best players, Trent Williams, Trent's pushing about 40 years old. Yeah. And now he's starting to get hurt. So I don't know. I think this is the time where they continue to go south, and I'm hoping the Seahawks go north.
Yeah, it was amazing, that series last year, because it just, when they came into town, they were the 49ers that have had our number.
They did.
And they just, and obviously the defense just was not fixed at all. So they really turned that around, and that was really cool to see. Kind of, you kind of conquered that demon. I feel like now it's not over, obviously. You still got to go out and beat them a couple times, but I don't have that feeling anymore about the 49ers where I go through and look at their roster and go, oh my God. And Trent Williams is a big part of that, as you said. Because you look at that side of the line, I think they had Aaron Banks next to him, who's one of the better guards in the league. But yeah, it's all coming together. You know, it's funny. I've told this story before, but we were walking out of that stadium last year after the victory, and I happened to be within earshot of Tyler Lockett, and he was talking about their offseason. He's like, man, they got a lot coming due here. I don't know how they're going to get all these guys signed back here and everything. And it was kind of it was interesting that it was like right after the game, but also usually don't hear that from a player. You know, he just was talking about their salary cap and everything and what they need to do. And it was just kind of interesting to hear that from his perspective.
Yeah, I know we're going to break here, but I'm curious, us beating them in the 11th week when they did have McCaffrey. I think they had Ayuk was out and a couple guys, and we beat them 2017, really shut their offense down. I'm on the road, which was really hard for us to play well there, you know, going back to the Legion of Boom times. I'm just wondering if that was all right, we got it. We know the scheme. We've got the players now. And I'm hoping that transitions to 2025.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank John Boyle. And coming up next here on Wyman and Bob, Caleb Williams really didn't want to go to Chicago. We'll hear more about that next. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. It's Wyman and Bob with Paul Moyer.
Blue 88, every day at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
Will the Seahawks ever find another Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah, this was a cool comment from Pete yesterday.
Marshawn was such an attractive individual to bring into our program. And how many people will ever talk about Marshawn as being an attractive individual? Not many. But, you know, he was really I thought, the change maker for us there.
Blue 88 on Seattle Sports. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here from my new friends at Harley Exteriors. It's a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years, and I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us. You see, we've got a bunch of windows in our house where the seals are broken. We've been there for 24 years, so almost every window has a broken seal. And Harley Exteriors, they have an exclusive high-quality Euro Vinyl Olympic Series window, and it's manufactured right here in Washington. And these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. And it's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And right now, through the month of May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. And I'm proud to be working with Ray, Chris, and Nick at Harley Exteriors. It's a team that you can get behind. So get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more. They're right here in the Puget Sound. Give them a call at 833 Harley. That's 833 HARLEY. Or you can just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and 1 unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet Plus 1 unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus 1 unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Did you hear?
A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See you with the full details and disclaimer. From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. Dave Wyman and Paul Moyer. This Caleb Williams drama, kind of interesting. Seth Wickersham, Paul, interviewed Carl Williams, who is Caleb's father. And it was for a new book called American Kings, a biography of the quarterback. And so apparently quarterback Caleb Williams was so concerned about being picked by the Chicago Bears in 2024 that he and his family weighed circumventing the entire NFL draft and basically, you know, considering signing with the United Football League. And Paul, I think you were looking at your phone because I said, the UFL, Paul,
yeah.
Are you familiar? And you said, yeah. And then you
Sort
looked
of.
up for your phone and said, oh, yeah, I never watched a game. Your wife wanted to watch a game.
I'm familiar that I know there's a league, and I know that when I watched or I was channel or surfing the channels, there was about 8 people in the stands. Less people there than would be at a Bellevue High School game, which they don't show up either. It's just when there's no fans in the stands, I'm like, it's hard for me to watch it. I don't know any of the players. I don't need to watch year-round football.
Right.
You know, I want to watch the NFL and college. I don't need any other leagues. I don't need any.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Like the NFL, I mean, they have, like, it's much more popular to tune in to the unveiling of the schedule or anything like that than to watch another game, because you would think, okay, football is really exciting and it's so important to sports fans and everything. It's like, not football, but the NFL. You know, I mean, there's just no one has ever. I mean, I remember the USFL. I'll never forget this, Paul. I remember when I was like a junior in college. I'm trying to remember. I think it was the Oakland Invaders. It was a USFL team.
Yeah.
And they signed a linebacker from the 49ers because guys were kind of going and they had some money going. And I remember there was a linebacker that was going to make $400,000 a year.
Wow.
In the USFL.
Back then, that's some money.
Yeah, it was like 1985 or 86. So, but yeah, I mean, anyway, that was kind of the threat. And, you know, and so basically his father said Chicago's the place quarterbacks go to die, and told agents, I don't want my son playing for the Bears.
Yeah. Don't blame him at the time.
Yeah. I mean, what do? We sacked him 7 times last year, I think, in a game it was a real barn burner. 6-3, Paul. We won 6-3. He went 16 for 28.
We went 6-3.
122 yards.
You know, a lot of it's on him. He makes, when I remember watching him on film, I go, wow, this guy can make some spectacular plays.
Yeah.
But he doesn't make the routine ones in the pocket. That's a problem. And he was
much better throwing on the run, scrambling, whatever. But if he had to sit in the pocket, he's got some learning to do.
And, you know, a lot of the sacks, I get it. But they had 2 free agent offensive linemen that other teams wanted, Dave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if these other teams want these guys so bad, are they that bad? And they weren't good. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of it's on the quarterback too. Ball's got to go out. I mean, it's got to come out. And that's just not his style. I mean, and he's so athletic. But that USFL back then, that was a threat. I mean, Herschel Walker went there. Jim Kelly went there. I mean, I almost went there, but I said, no, I want to try the NFL first. But there was a fallback.
Okay.
This league, it's got nothing.
Yeah.
They can't pay the guys enough. It's not watched. We've seen it. And so to me, it's more of a practice squad league.
Yeah. Wasn't Reggie White also? Didn't he start off?
I don't think Reggie went there.
I thought he did. And there was a linebacker, Sam Mills, I remember, that started in the USFL and then made it into the NFL. But cut number 4, Seth Wickersham, just talking about Caleb Williams and his dad. His dad, Carl, they tried everything they could think of to try to get him out of going to Chicago.
You know, look, I think that, like, Carl has been very clear publicly about his opinions of the NFL draft process and the fact that the worst team drafts the best player. And he was looking for ways around it because he saw a system where his son was locked into the team that drafted him, like all number 1 picks are, for basically 8 years. And so he was trying to find a way around it. And he, you know, met with people like Marvin Demoff and Archie Manning and lawyers and people like that, all trying to find loopholes around the draft. And at one point, they even considered joining the United Football League if it would give him a chance to be an unrestricted free agent in 2025. Ultimately, none of those really were things that he wanted to do.
Yeah, that's interesting that Marvin Demoff was consulted there because
God, Marvin still.
I know. I saw a picture of him, so he was my agent. But you know, the reason why he took me, Paul, was because my coach at Stanford was Jack Elway, and so John Elway obviously was, and you know, Marvin, you know, good on him for consulting Marvin because he basically got John Elway out of was it Baltimore then? Or were they?
Yeah.
Or they were moved. I think they were in the process of moving to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, he said they drafted him, and then they ended up having to trade him to Denver, and they got Hinton and a few other guys. I mean, it was not a good trade for the, you know, at the time it wasn't even close. Who was the best quarterback? And it's happened. I mean, Eli Manning did it. I mean, he didn't want to go to San Diego. He held out, and you know, ended up getting to the Giants.
Yeah.
It's harder now. Here's what's interesting about Caleb. What if he had just said, I'm not going into the draft? I know Chicago has a number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going. And with the NIL deals now, if he had played last year, and he probably would have had 2 years left, too, because of the COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
He could have made plenty of money. He could have waited to say, I'm going to wait 2 years for the right team. But, yeah.
Paul, some of these players coming into the NFL are going to take a pay cut.
They are now, Dave.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but
pretty amazing.
Especially if you're a quarterback. Because if you're a quarterback, like the guy from, I'm drawing a blank. Was it South Carolina? No. It was the one at Tennessee. Probably not a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
he's making, $4 or $5 million, and it said maybe he's down to $3.5 million. You weren't going to make that in a 4th-round pick or a 5th-round pick in the NFL, and the likelihood of you even making the team for quarterbacks, which the position's such an important position in college as well. If you're a good quarterback in college, you make good money. If you're a good quarterback in college, it doesn't translate to the NFL.
Yeah.
Only a few of those guys make it a year. So you're right, Dave. And they're making more money than some of the coaches. And that is weird.
Yeah, it is. It's very strange. Throughout this whole thing, just listening to his dad, I'm sure his dad's trying to do the best for his son.
Sure,
There's no question about it. No question about it. I have to say, though, I'm very thankful that my dad, he did not miss a game. And not only that, he was always down on the field. Like in high school, he was always down on the field taking pictures of me. Yeah. He made some amazing pictures. Actually made me look good, Paul.
Really?
Yes.
You're striking a handsome
But,
man.
I mean, he never got involved in any way. And I'm sure that he's trying to help his son and everything. I just glad that I avoided that part of it.
Well, I'll give him a little bit of credit. It's just now coming out.
Yeah.
There were some behind-the-scenes things about maybe Caleb, but it never really came out to be an issue.
Yeah, and real quick, in cut number 6, Matt, if you don't mind. I think he kind of, ironed that out with Ben Johnson and made sure everybody knew that it would have been different if he had been the head coach.
I doubt it. I mean, they got what they wanted. They got an innovative offensive mind who's investing in Caleb's success. I think the rookie year for a quarterback is about survival. Like, not everybody has Dan Marino's year in '83 or Jaden Daniels last year. I think you're trying to survive. You take those scars from that first year and you try to become better and stay ahead of defenses. And, what he's got now is a coach who other coaches study and steal from. He's an innovative mind, and he's deeply invested in Caleb's success.
Yeah, so by the way, Matt asked the question, would you ever have fought to avoid getting drafted to a team? Sounds like you did. You were going to do that. You were going to go the USFL route.
No, I wasn't going to go that way. Yeah, I wasn't fighting for anything. It's just back then, you had Canadian, you had the USFL, which it was the first year was my year coming out of college in '83. And there were some guys who were signing some pretty good money. I think maybe Doug Flutie. I don't know if that was the same year or not. But you had guys like Doug Flutie, I believe. You had Jim Kelly. You had Herschel Walker. There were some names there getting signed. And so there were some options. It wasn't great option. You wanted to try the NFL first. Mm-hmm. I certainly wasn't one of those who was going to leverage it like Herschel and some of the other guys. But, yeah, at least there were options. That, to me, it's played out now, man. There is no other option.
No.
It's the NFL. Actually, the option, Dave, is what you just said: stay in college,
stay in school. Exactly. Yeah. Well, coming up next, the Seahawks caught a stray in the Saints' schedule release video. You'll hear it next in Wyman. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. It's Wyman and Bob with Paul Moyer.
After a tough homestand.
Next offer to Judd, swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. The Yankees have the lead.
The first-place Mariners are back on the road, where they've been at their best so far this season. Call them the Road Warriors.
In the clutch.
Tonight, the M's kick off a 10-game trip in the first of 3 against the Padres. First pitch at 6:40, with Wyman and Bob taking you up to pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Heward here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO Shannon O'Kelly. Now, Shannon, I need to ask you if what I've been hearing is true. You don't need a referral, really, to see a physical therapist in the state of Washington?
That's exactly right, Brock. The state of Washington is a state that has what's called direct access. That means that if you get up in the morning, for example, and you hurt your back or did something to your muscles or tendons or joints, you can call a physical therapist directly, and we can get you in that same day and start your care and your recovery process.
How can patients get scheduled with IRG?
Oh, it's easy. You just contact us at irgpt.com. We'll direct you to our concierge service, and we'll take care of all that for you. We handle all the authorization, verification. We want our patients to understand their insurance benefits and what the outcomes are going to be with their visit to IRG Physical and Hand Therapy.
Please, please, please don't let injuries keep you from your passion. Schedule online today at irgpt.com and start the journey back to your best self.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Bump for the Employee Pricing Plus event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Get employee pricing plus additional incentives on all new vehicles, including Wranglers, Rams, Chargers, and more. On approved credit. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Mr. K's Construction reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Please make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or ride share, and let's bring our sons and daughters home safely. Best wishes to the class of 2025 from the entire team at Mr. K's Construction. Committed to making your home and our community beautiful since 1977.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Celebrate 50 seasons of Seahawks football at Lumen Field and take your game day to the next level with premium hospitality and incredible views. Host a one-of-a-kind event in a private game day suite or get front row access with sideline and end zone field seats. For more on how to elevate your game day at Lumen Field, visit Seahawks.com/premium.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle.
deal with it. He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Wyman of the Week.
And Wyman is presented by Mazda of Everett. Paul, I don't know if you've spent much time going through these release videos. I'd forgotten about it. They're funny. Last year there was something, was it Charles Cross? And I believe there was an actor or something involved. Text it in. 866-979-3776. I'm trying to remember what the release video was, but Boyle told us that back in 2016, John Boyle from Seahawks.com, told us that they were the first ones to do it, to actually release a video. And I remember there was one time where I think there was a couple of years ago, they released like a fake one to some of the players, and they had this ridiculously hard schedule. And it was like a fake schedule, and they filmed the guys' reactions and things like that. But I was just looking around, and I happened to to look at the New Orleans Saints video, and I thought it was particularly hilarious. And let's listen to it first. But I mean, it doesn't capture the entire thing, but I thought theirs was probably the funniest.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out. I'd like to share a few comments. This is my first year with the Saints. I know a lot of you are still getting to know me. I'm a pretty laid-back guy. I know, how to keep my cool under pressure, and I think it's a really important quality of being a head coach in the NFL. I'd also think it's important to keep a healthy and respectful dynamic with the media and the members a part of that. So behind me, you'll see my angry translator, Coach Kazi.
How's everybody doing?
He may jump in to help answer and clarify a few questions here. So with that, first question.
Coach, I know you're coming off a Super Bowl victory, but you got a really tough schedule this year. You play at Seattle. That is a difficult place to play a game.
Yeah, of course, we have a lot of respect for the fans up there, and for that program, we look forward to the challenge.
Tough? The entire NFL is tough. So whether it be Seattle's 12th man, the best man, Superman, we are going to prepare ourselves like we do any other team. You know what else is tough? Listening to you talk. Next question.
So he had this guy it was like the office linebacker. Remember that? Where he would, if you kill the Joe, make some mo, and tackling people and all that. So they had this angry, guy behind him. It was like Kellen Moore's. First of all, Kellen Moore looks like he's 15 years old, and he's trying to be nice and everything, and then this guy jumped in and jumped down everybody's throat, including Bobby Hebert. You ever talk to Bobby Hebert?
I remember he's very, very bayou.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost like you
hard
need
to
a
understand.
Translator.
Yes.
Yeah. He has me on every year we play the
Really?
Saints. For some reason we met, and he's like, so he calls me every single time. So I'll be getting a call from Bobby Aber, but even he is in the crowd, and then the guy steps forward and he's like, I know you got to have your little radio show or whatever. He just rips him. So I thought it was funny. And then, the fact that they talked about how difficult it is, although we were 3-6 at home. I'm kind of
had a good interception against Bobby.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
We were playing New Orleans.
Yeah.
It was had a good one.
Paul, I can count the number of quarterbacks I picked off on part of my right hand. 3 interceptions.
3?
Yeah. You had 6 in 1 year, right?
I did.
Yeah.
So who are they? A few Hall of Famers. Well, I had one against. My first one was Dan Fouts. I remember the Hall of Famers. Dan Fouts, John Elway, Jim Kelly, Warren Moon, Bobby Hebert.
Bobby Hebert,
I can't remember. Dave, I have too many. They're not. I can't count them all on 2 hands, Dave. Sorry.
Poor you. No, anyway, yeah, the videos are out there, and I thought the Seahawks did a pretty good job. I think it was a kind of appealing to different people, but yeah. And then in Wyman number 2, Mike Greenberg thinks every league should adopt a draft lottery system.
Incentivizing losing is the worst mistake any sport can possibly make, any sports league can make. And as a result, I think it is great news. People saying, oh, this isn't working because the worst teams aren't getting the pick. Shut up. That's exactly the wrong way to look at it. This way, win games. Go out there and win games and see what happens. And you know what should happen? The NFL should add this?
Yes.
Yes. Every sport should add this.
Yes.
The lottery is a brilliant idea, and I would completely favor. I know Shefty was on talking about it on the radio this morning. I would absolutely be in favor of the NFL going to some sort of draft lottery so you stop with the tanking, which is the worst thing in sport.
Yeah,
Who tanks?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, in the NFL, really, I mean, good luck trying to get somebody to go out and play crappy. You know, and I always bring this up, Paul. In 1992, 2-14, I wanted to make sure everybody knew on film and everything that I was playing my tail off. And that's a point of pride, obviously, but also, you know, we had free agency at some point. Actually, the next year, I went to Denver in '93. But yeah, I mean, good luck getting people to tank.
And coaches aren't tanking, players aren't tanking. Now, I get for basketball, one guy makes a difference,
yes.
right? And I get you're looking and saying who's going to be coming out next year. And you say, hey, I'm going to get rid of our roster. I'm not going to play it right. And we're going to try and get the lowest, the highest pick. In football, first of all, you don't know because of injuries. Two, you would have to start planning that years in advance because there's no way you could unwind your team in 1 year because of the way the salary cap is. So you'd have to say, I think Caleb Williams 3 years from now is going to be so great that we got to start tanking our team. And by the way, now you've tanked it. How do I rebuild it back up?
Right.
That's going to take me. So you would have to have a 5-year plan of losing. Mm-hmm. And that just doesn't work in the NFL.
There's too many people involved, number one. That's where the other thing about throwing games, like
and there's no guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, like NBA, I could understand where, certain things or maybe somebody could tank a game. But, yeah, there's 11 guys out there. And, again, like you said, good luck getting somebody to go out there and play crappy so that I can get a really high draft choice and replace me.
For a sport that has no guarantees. That guy's a can't miss. There's very few John Elways out there. I mean, there's just not very many. I mean, there's been more number one first picks in the draft bust than probably who have turned into Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah.
So there's just no guarantee. I get basketball. I mean, you get a guy like LeBron James or some of these other guys, the first pick in the draft, you go, I can't miss, and they're probably right. So, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, no question. To me that part of it, the draft lottery system, I don't think it's necessary at all, especially not in the NFL. All right, well, coming up next, finally, I know a lot of people texted in and said, hey, we're going to talk about the Mariners. They got the Padres.
Who? Oh, yeah.
Seattle Mariners, Paul. Your Seattle Mariners. We'll get you ready for the Mariners series against the Padres with broadcaster Gary Hill. That's next. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Only Brock and Salk in Seattle Sports go one-on-one with Raiders head coach Pete Carroll. Dude, that still sounds so weird.
Are you kidding me?
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
What's happening, fellas? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. It's been a while. How are you?
I get it. Yeah. You haven't called me once. What are you talking about? Doing great. We're having a blast. The energy around this building is really familiar and really fun.
The whole conversation's on video. Watch it on YouTube or the Seattle Sports app.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr,
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. At your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
Evan Cohen here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL. Picture this. You're staying at a hotel about to take an important video call, but the Wi-Fi is slower than 1997 dial-up. You struggle with your phone's hotspot as clients complain about your connection. These stressful situations don't have to happen. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you get free high-speed Wi-Fi to handle critical emails, join meetings on time, and even unwind with your favorite shows. No more worrying about spotty connections. Enjoy stress-free stays with reliable Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at LQ.com.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus One unlimited welcome line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Your Seattle Mariners embark on a 10-game road trip tonight, facing the San Diego Padres, Chicago White Sox, and a 4-game series against the hated Houston Astros. Logan Evans is your pitcher tonight. Mariner hitters will face right-handed pitcher Stephen Kolek, and over the weekend it'll be Emerson Hancock and Brian Wu on the mound. The Mariners currently lead the AL West with a 23-19 record. They're 10-8 on the road this year and have won 5 series on the road this season. You can hear the whole thing right here. First pitch tonight is at 6:40, and the pregame show starts at 5:30.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. We got Paul Moyer filling in today, and then it looks like the broadcast just got a lot more handsome. Gary Hill is joining us. Gary's looking behind him. No, we're talking about you, Gary.
You can't be me.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you guys doing? It's good to see you.
Yeah, we were just, Paul was just telling me how you're one of his favorite broadcasters, and he's very picky about broadcasters.
I am.
Yeah.
I paid him $20 to say that, so thank you, Paul.
No, you haven't, but you can after. But no, I love your voice, Gary. I really do, and I'm fascinated where you've come in your career. I remember when you came in 2018 and took over Kevin Kremen, who I knew forever, because I used to do 26 years ago, I used to do the post-game shows for the Mariners. And so learned a lot from Kevin, and just to watch your career develop. And I'm not saying that you have a face for radio, but you definitely have a great voice for radio. So there's my compliment. You can send the money anytime.
I will for sure. Yeah, I do have a face for radio. That's accurate, too. No, I appreciate that. Those are very kind words. Kevin Kremen, too, I'm not sure there is a single person that has been more influential in my career than Kevin. I've leaned on him just being near him. He has listened to thousands and thousands of baseball games. So I've had so many conversations through the years just about what a good broadcaster does, what a broadcaster shouldn't do. Those type of conversations have been invaluable for me. So I can't say enough about Kevin Kremen and all he has done for me in my career. He's just the greatest.
He really
Gary,
is.
I can help you a ton on what not to do. Okay. Yeah, Kremen was just such a cool guy, and I used to tease him. Remember, when he was going to retire, it was like this tour, almost like remember when Jabbar retired. And I was like, Kremen, when are you going to quit? I mean, is this going to go on for like the next 10 years, or what's going on? But yeah, he was just a cool guy. So
yeah, he was getting. Every road place we'd go to, he'd get big messages on the reader board. He'd get gifts places. Yeah, it was a whole thing. I would have kept going. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, make it a 2, 3, 4 year thing. Just get all the gifts. Keep going. Yeah, that would have been great.
Well, Gary, we got a text. We've been doing mostly football today, but Paul, huge Mariner fan, and obviously we all are. And it's been fun this year, but just where they're at right now, a lot of people are texting in going, oh, man, this is a tough time. Not a well-placed series here against Padres, who are really an excellent team, and just where they're at right now. What do you think? What can we look forward to in this series?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough series. The Padres are a really good team, and they're playing really well. Tatis is having an MVP type of first half so far for San Diego. He's been great. The top of the order is really good. They're one of the best teams in baseball. So this is going to be a tough series, especially coming off the Yankees series. And we kind of know the situation the Mariners are in. They're very beat up in the rotation. And so it's really, until they start getting guys back, there's just kind of reality of where they are, where, you're missing Kirby, you're missing Gilbert. Those are two guys that are Cy Young candidates. They're that good. And you really haven't had the Miller we expected all season. Now, hopefully he'll be back okay in a couple of weeks. And that's the hope, that they all come back within, the next 2-3 weeks. Yeah. And then you're off and running. In the meantime, these series are going to be difficult. And you're really just trying to pick off a game at a time, pick off a series at a time. And you're hoping that the offense can get back. It's hard to get back to where they were. They were averaging 6 runs a game for over a month, which is great. But if they can get somewhere near there again and get some of these series in the meantime till you get a little more healthy, that would be good. It's the impressive part, I think, about this whole thing so far. The Mariners are where they are, given what's happened in the rotation, and given they're missing Robles and Raley, who are big parts of their offense as well. So I've just been really impressed to see what they've been able to do given the circumstances.
What's such a shame, and you mentioned it, I remember last year looking at how excellent the pitching was, but then, going, hey, if we can just have like average, middle of the road offensive numbers, and now it's kind of what you got. I mean, some even better than that. I mean, they're number 3 as far as walks, their on-base percentage, 327. But then you look at, what's going on with the pitching, and I went back and looked at last year, and there's like 6 different categories where they're either, number 20, number 15, number 19. They were number 1 last year. So, I mean, look, I know it's not going to repair all the way back to that, but how soon do you think that, because, Bryce Miller also, there were people that were talking about him being possibly a Cy Young candidate during spring training. And you mentioned Kirby and Gilbert. I mean, there's just so much more upside on the pitching side.
For sure. Those are all great pitchers. And the reality is you just can't plug in guys to replace them when you're talking about pitchers at that level. And you're right about Miller. In a lot of ways, I think his year was underrated last year, at least nationally. I think all of us in Seattle realized how good that Miller was last year, but he was one of the best in baseball and finished with a great stretch to end the season. So my expectations, I think everyone's expectations, were pretty high for Miller coming into the season. Now, the good news is you could have all 3 back starting, I don't know what the date is, but sometime in June, and take it the rest of the season and have 3 healthy guys. I mean, that's the hope, and that could happen. And if that does happen, you pair them with Wu, who's been excellent. He's kind of been the rock of the rotation so far this year. Yeah. And Castillo's coming off of a nice start against the Yankees. And then you're off and cooking together with what has been a good offense so far this year. But in the meantime, that's it. It's a challenge, especially on this trip. It's going to be a long trip. It's going to be a tough trip. And the Mariners, I think the key to this one is they've been really good in the division. I think the best path, the cleanest path to the postseason is winning the division. And you have a big 4-game series staring at you in Houston coming at the end of this trip. And there's no days off on this trip. So it's going to be really tough in that regard. But taking care of business in Houston is going to be pretty critical, too.
Well, we do have the White Sox before that, so hopefully we get through this San Diego game. Let's talk about Dan Wilson. I've known Dan for, since he's been here and I've been here. A great guy. Didn't know what kind of manager he would be. To be in first place at this point, pretty impressive. What do you think? You guys are around these guys every day. What's his greatest strength, and what do you think he still needs to work on or learn the most in this role?
I think it's a really calming influence, which is really important in baseball because the emotional swings from day to day can be so severe, going from, a walk-off loss or a sweep, which happens to every team. And the fact that you have a guy in charge that is calm, cool, collected, I think that's really important. And the guys love him. The staff love him. He's had an established relationship with a lot of people. He's been in the organization for a long time. He's been going to Arkansas and Tacoma and Modesto for his previous role. And so he's had established relationships with the coaches that are up here now and also the players that are up here now, or at least a lot of them. So there is an established relationship there. Guys love playing for him. And so I think the role of a manager, the most important stuff is all the stuff we don't see. It's such a big job these days because not only are you trying to get an entire clubhouse of players going in the same direction, but you have a really big coaching staff and all their specialties. You have the analysts that you're getting information from, too, that you need to distribute to your staff and players. And there's a lot of balls in the air all the time that we never see, but to me, that's the most important stuff. The most important managing is managing people and all kinds of different people doing all kinds of different things. And that's what I think Dan Wilson is really good at. And, what I'm interested to see as he develops, because this is his first time doing this, is the strategy in game to see how that develops. Because, especially with this Mariners team right now, there's a ton of decision points during the course of a ball game, especially with all the injuries. Whether you're talking about bullpen guys or pinch hitters, it's a very complicated thing to manage right now on the field. So I'm interested to see as this season goes on and how this career goes on, how things change and evolve, because they will. It happens with all managers the more experience they get.
The criticism that bothers me the most is when people think that Dan doesn't have the information. like you're sitting in front of your TV and you have all this information and he doesn't have it. He's totally unaware. I mean, that to me is just, it cracks me up. But then also, you know, like Dan, he says it every once in a while. It's like, hey, we trust this guy. Or, you know, and not saying that he's doing it, you know, he's managing, you know, with his gut or anything, but there are those kinds of moments. And I think that there's a lot of times that he does do that and it works out, but we don't hear about it, right?
Yeah, and I also think, especially on the pitching side, it's really difficult because we don't have all the information. On given nights, there are guys that are not available at all, or they want to stay away from, which we don't know going into a game. Like, we can guess who's available and not, but all of that plays in. And it's also interesting, too, because when they make decisions, their decisions are usually more than just surface level. Like, it's more than just, oh, I want a righty facing a righty or a lefty facing a lefty. Oftentimes, you know, they're digging into types of swings and which pitches work best against that type of swing and the strength for the pitchers that you have, you know, that sort of thing. It's when it comes to pitching especially, I think it's a more difficult conversation because a lot of the information, they have more information than we do. It's really detailed.
Right.
And so we can all be critical about certain decisions that are made because that's kind of the fun of baseball. I mean, there are so many decision points during a ball game, and a lot of times, well, I would do something different here, or you would do something different here, but that's kind of the beauty of it is none of us ever agree all the time on what should or shouldn't happen, and sometimes I would be right on something, sometimes you'd be right, so that's kind of the way it goes. But I am interested to see, especially with some of the pinch hitting and in-game calls, to see just how things evolve as this season goes.
I'm going to ask you a broadcasting question. I was telling them earlier, because I love listening to you and Riz, and there's something about listening to on the radio is different on TV. And I like to try and time it up where I like to watch the game, but I like to listen still to the radio broadcast. And I will even go back to last year, even Dave Sims. I liked Dave Sims better on the radio than on TV. I don't know why. What is it? Is it a different style or skill when you're doing a play-by-play and an analyst on the radio than when you do something on TV?
Yes, it's almost completely different. Radio, if you want to think about, you are providing the pictures for everyone listening. They're seeing only what you are telling them. And so what I think is beautiful about this game and about this game on radio, I think it's a perfect match. I think it goes hand in hand. It's when you describe not only the action on the field, but what a guy is wearing or what the ballpark is like or the sun setting, you know, all the little details that happen during the course of a baseball game. And that's the kind of stuff I love. I love all the little things that are happening during the course of a game. On TV, you call a different game because everyone is seeing what you're calling. So the analyst takes a bigger role in TV, and so it's a completely different medium and it's a completely different style. The thing that I have always fallen in love with radio is you get to paint the picture, and that's what I love to do so much. And I try to do it the best I can, anyways.
You guys do it great. It's it's awesome, and that's why I still go to the radio.
Well, thank you. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. I appreciate that too, Paul.
Well, not you, Dan. I don't listen to you, but but
we've known each other a long time.
Yes,
Gary. It's okay. Hey, as far as injuries go, who are some of the? I saw the Robles injury, and I'm just like, gosh, I don't think he's making it back. But you know, as far as and then Rayleigh, like I've never seen an oblique injury like that. It looked like there was a sniper out there for warm-ups. But who are you optimistic about? What are you hearing about? And I know they release, all of the information as far as medically goes, but just for you being around the team and kind of, understanding like who's close to being back off the IL.
Yeah, well, Kirby's the closest of like all the guys that are on the IL right now. Like he has actually been in rehab games. He's actually thrown. We've actually seen it because that's when things get very real. there's always kind of loose timetables on guys, but it's always hard to put an actual date back until, okay, they're actually doing baseball activity. They're actually playing in games coming back. So it's still going to be a while, at least for Raley and Robles. I don't even think we have a date on those two guys yet. I am optimistic that we'll see both at some point this season, which would be really great. I think Raley before Robles is just a guess. Obliques can be tricky, so that's another reason why you kind of stay away from putting an exact timetable on it. But the shame of that is I think Raley, his offensive year last year was really overlooked. He was, I think, a top 3 hitter for the Mariners last year. He was super productive, especially against righties, and that's a bat they really could use back as soon as possible. So I hope he is back as soon as possible. But Kirby is going to be the first one out of the gates, and hopefully it's on this road trip. I mean, that's, I think, what we're all hoping for. We'll see if that actually happens or not, but I'd love to see him take the ball against the Astros. I was watching his start on TV from Tacoma the other day, and, man, it was just so great to see him back on the mound, just seeing Kirby throw again. He's been such an important part of this team and the pitching staff, and as we all know, he's one of the best pitchers in the ballgame, and he's been severely missed. So I can't wait to see him back as soon as possible.
Ben Williamson, it's been a great story. Obviously, he's come back to the pack a bit, with the bat. How patient do the Mariners stay with him? Because his defense is something to behold. He's got to see some things. They probably found a little bit of weaknesses, but how patient do they stay with him?
It's a really good question. It has been a struggle recently, and the thing that he has really done, I felt like, is stabilize the infield, especially defensively. Like, okay, he plays a great third base, you're all set, and that's opened up Polanco to be the DH. You haven't had to worry about playing him at third, so I think he carries a lot of value on his defense alone. The trick is, though, you don't want him to go into a tailspin offensively and wreck his confidence or anything like that. So I guess we'll just continue to see how this plays out, how he handles this road trip, but hopefully he can turn things around a little bit. Like, he's not a guy you're asking to carry this offense. I think that's what's most important. Like, this offense is not going to ride high because of what Williamson is going to do to carry it. You're just hoping he does enough to contribute because he has so much value defensively. And if he really struggles on this trip, then you take a look at it and see what the other options are. But the best option is for him to hit just enough, to provide just enough offensively, because it's super valuable. Not only like his actual defense at third base, but also just him as the puzzle piece to set up everything else on the infield.
Well, Gary, have a good trip. It ends up in Houston, going to Chicago and Houston. And what do you think? Prediction: 10 games. What do you think?
Boy,
how many wins?
I would take a 500 trip.
That'd be nice.
I think this is going to be a tough trip, especially with San Diego and Houston on the bookends. I think a 500 trip would be excellent. And then you start, because I guess how I look at it is, the West is just a jumble right now with everyone kind of in the same spot. And if the Mariners can just continue to hang around with Texas and Houston to be right there and get a little more healthy, and get your rotation back together, then you're really cooking. But in the meantime, just try and get some wins, get some series, and just hang around right where they're at.
Well, Gary, really appreciate the time, and have a great trip.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the kind words, too. Really appreciate it. Good to talk to you. Talk to you guys.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, we do that so you'll come on more often. We're just buttering you up a little bit. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you. There goes Gary Hill on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Does a great job with the Mariners, and
it's
so
been a great career to watch. I mean, he's a native, Tacoma, I believe, and he started back 2010 and took over for Kremen, and now on the radio as well. I mean, really fun for a local kid, and he does a great job, man. Those are one of those you put the best people in the best position, things work out.
500, that do you okay?
Well, we got the White Sox.
Now.
I want to sweep the White Sox. I mean, we need to. So now I got 3, and if I go, how many is it? Is it a 10 game?
Yeah.
Then if I sweep the White Sox and I win one of 3 from San Diego, and how many we have? Houston, 4?
4.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Look, I think we're fine. I get the starting pitching, but you got Brash. Brash the other night, his velo's not quite what it has been, but he looked good. I mean, his confidence, the way he struck out Judge, we should really feel great about the 8-9 slot. And then, Spire and some of those guys, I mean, they got to be a little more consistent. Yeah. I think we're fine. And we just got to find ways to win this game. We could have, maybe not sweat. We certainly should have won 2 out of 3. Yeah. But we had the lead against the Yankees going into the 5th inning in every game.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think we're okay. I mean, we got to get healthy, but we're going to be okay.
You're going to be able to pull up when we go to dinner tonight, Apple TV on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll bring my iPad, Dave, because I know you need readers.
It's funny. I know a lot of people say, well, we're going out with our wives, and they won't even notice that we're there. So you and I can probably just sit in a corner and
we
watch
could
the
go
game.
to the bar, Dave, and they could sit at the table, and they would not know that we weren't there. So, yes.
That's exactly right. All right, I want to thank Gary Hill. He was live on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook hotline. Coming up next, why did DK leave Seattle? We'll hear what John Schneider had to say about that next. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Brock and Salk.
A quick question / maybe unpopular take.
Yes.
I totally understand graduation gifts in high school.
Okay.
Here's $100. Here's this. Here's that. Like graduation gifts in college.
Why not? Almost more so. I think that would make sense.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you talked about setting someone up for the rest of their life. For the most part, you're going off for high school.
I mean, they've done
kids.
that with their degree. Like, God bless them. Do you think it's appropriate, like, collegiate graduation gift?
Because then you're actually, like, going out to start a real life.
Brock and Salk. Morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for my friends at Harley Exteriors. It's a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. And I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us. You see, we've been in the same house for 24 years, and virtually every window in our home has a broken seal. Harley Exteriors has an exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window manufactured right here in Washington. And these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. And it's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest, up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And right now, through the month of May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. And I'm proud to be working with Ray and Chris and Nick at Harley Exteriors. It's a team you can get behind. So get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more. They're right here in the Puget Sound. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or you can just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Hey, it's Bump for West Hills Ford, the big Ford store. Right now, during the From America for America event, Ford is offering employee pricing to all U.S. shoppers on many new Ford models. Lease the 2024 Ford F-150 STX four-wheel drive Super Crew, only $549 per month for 36 months, with $4,999 due at signing on improved credit. West Hill Ford, the big Ford store, just off the Auto Center Way exit. Highway 3, Bremerton, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO Shannon O'Kelly. Well, the seasons, they're changing. The guys are playing the sports outdoors. I know many are starting to maybe pull the lawnmower out and get back to the landscape and the outdoor work. I'm going to guess, Shannon, at IRG, maybe a little busier season?
Oh, absolutely, Brock. You know, we know when the seasons change, particularly when it gets warmer, people are in their houses pretty much all winter long with our cold weather, rain, et cetera, particularly here in the Puget Sound. And everybody's excited. They want to rush out and get going with their activity. I'm telling you, as a physical therapist for 35 years here, you need to prepare your body. So take time to warm up, increase some flexibility, do some stretches, because if you prepare your body and prevent injuries, those activities outside, particularly that exciting thing, mowing your lawn, is going to be healthier and it's going to be a lot more fun.
And you feel better. For more info or to book your appointment today, simply go to irgpt.com. It's all waiting for you right there at irgpt.com.
My wife and I have been married for over 15 years, and I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after I turned 40, things started feeling different. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and I just wasn't interested in sex anymore. My wife told me her friend's husband went through the same thing, and it turns out he had low testosterone. So we booked a free T-check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that my testosterone levels were low too. We worked with a provider to create a custom treatment plan, and today, my wife and I are having more fun than we did on our honeymoon. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. It's Dave Wyman and Paul Moyer. Great catching up with Gary Hill. This is going to be a really cool weekend for, that's our one little Mariners segment there. We've pretty much been all NFL. We're going to continue.
We do Mariners. I had a lot of questions for Gary too. Yeah. You know, have you ever been to Petco? I think it's still Petco. No. There's a few settings that are unbelievable. Like, you know, Safeco's really, or not Safeco, T-Mobile's really cool, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great ballpark, but it's not, you know, downtown. There's not a lot of restaurants and shops to go to. You go to San Diego, it's right downtown on the water there, and you go to a game and you walk right to all the hotels and all the restaurants. It's one of my favorite cities there, also small little cities. San Francisco, similar, you know, right there on the water. Yeah, it's one of my favorite places to go. I have actually not even been to a game there, but just a lot of conferences down in San Diego. I always thought it was a great setting.
Yeah, it is a very good setting, right downtown, like you said. Good weather. Meanwhile, John Schneider on the Rich Eisen show, we heard him earlier talking about quarterbacks. Now he's talking about wide receivers. He asked if DK leaving was about money.
No, it really wasn't. And it was interesting because it wasn't like animosity either. It was like, you know, somebody's really, really, he really wanted a fresh start. And, you know, it's not like, you know, we went into the offseason thinking this would be a possibility, but he was just, he was pretty dug in on it. So ended up working out for both clubs, working out for us, working out for Pittsburgh, and we wish him the best. He's a great guy and obviously a high-end competitor.
Yeah, interesting. I knew at the end of the year that he was not, I don't want to say unhappy, but he wanted to talk. He wanted to talk about options and things. Always liked DK. Really did. And look, this is just my personal experience. A lot of people consume it differently. If you just see him, looked like he got on the headsets and yelled at Grubb last year. You see him every once in a while with some of the penalties that he got, maybe a little on the. I don't think it's selfish though. I think it was about being unable to control his temper, and then and I never heard him complain about anything. So I was firmly in the DK camp. And I also thought that there's lots of times where they should have just thrown the ball up for him, but they didn't. So I don't know how you feel about DK. I guess you look on your offense and you don't have that guy. Although MVS is a pretty big dude, but as far as DK, he was just a superior athlete.
Yeah, I mean, a great straight line runner, Dave. Not actually a great jump ball receiver. He should be, because he can. His vertical I think was over 40, and he's 6'3", 4", however tall he is. I mean,
I didn't think he got enough opportunities.
No, but even the ones there's some guys that just look. DK was never a guy that went up and caught the ball at the highest point. He was I want the ball to come into my hands. It wasn't that he couldn't. He just didn't do it consistently. I wanted DK. I mean, you don't want to get rid of good football players, and they're tough matchups. The challenge, obviously, was the amount of money he was going to want and the type of offense we were going to run. Here's my issue. I don't understand why he wanted to go. I don't understand why Gino wanted to go. I really don't. I felt disrespected. That was one thing I heard from Gino. I'm like, you end up getting the same amount of money that the Seahawks were going to give you, at least we believe. Mm. You felt disrespect. This being a team that gave you an opportunity when you didn't have opportunities. That to me is there. Now, he may have felt more loyal to Pete. And, we talked with John Boyle earlier. Pete is with those guys all the time. You build a tighter relationship. The GM, you've got everything. You're out there scouting, you're managing personnel. I mean, it's a different relationship. But John's a relationship guy. I didn't get it. Yeah. Because they let go of Grubb. So now you're bringing in a new offense coordinator. So they already agreed with you. We didn't like the offense the way it was called last year. So I just don't get it. I want out. Why? Why do you want out?
Yeah, that one was kind of a mystery to me. I could see the connection between Gino and Pete, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
And Gino was a tough one to get a read on as well. I mean, I got a pretty good read. DK talked to him a couple times down on the field. He was always, yes, sir, no, sir. I mean, his dad played in the NFL. He kind of got it and everything. I think people got sideways when he would get penalties, but Gino never got a pulse on him. He never... I mean, outside of
talk.
Yeah, he just didn't talk, and I can totally see that Pete would be his kind of guy. But continuing on with the receivers, Rich Eisen was asked John about JSN having such a great year, and maybe made it a little bit easier to part ways with DK.
Yeah, a part of it, but it's also, that does factor in, but it's also, again, when you're moving on from a talent like DK, it's important to be able to try to replenish that room. So being able to add speed with MVS, and then obviously, Cooper Kupp coming in, and the guy's a total role model, works his tail off. I know you know him real well, and he's been outstanding for that room and for the group out here, and especially for JSN. Going into his third year. So, we're excited about the group. Drafted 2 guys that we're really excited about as well. So, along with the guys that have been here too. So, we're excited about that room.
You know what? JSN really stands out to me. I see he's good, okay? But I can't tell what is it about him that makes it, and I think a lot of, I saw at Ohio State, there was lots of times where it didn't look like he was running very fast, but he was. He's running away from everybody. But JSN, and I asked Bumpus this too, I'll ask you, what do you see from JSN that You know, do you think this is a guy who's a Pro Bowler, and you know what is it about his game that you see from a defensive back standpoint?
Well, let me comment on sometimes he doesn't look like he's running that fast. Two of the greatest wide receivers I've ever played against and had a chance to watch in person was a guy named Steve Largent, and a guy named Jerry Rice. There's something about the way they ran routes and the way their body control. I mean, this is still a game of I'd rather have quickness than speed.
Right.
I need separation. The game's in motion. You know, everybody says, "Oh, that guy's a 4.3." The difference between a guy who runs a 4.3 and a 4.5 is a step. And if I've got a 3-4 yards in front of you, you run as fast as you want. I'm good. Yeah, unless the ball's thrown 100 yards. So I want quickness, separation. I think JSN has great body control. We saw that last year. And once they unleashed him and said, hey, you can run more than just stick routes and crossing routes, and say, let's go ahead and go more vertical with him. And, you know, probably needs to be a little bit on time, but he's not slow.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden when he beats a guy and he sticks a guy and then maybe runs to the corner, he's got a 2 or 3 yard separation right from the get-go. And, you know, maybe a guy closes by a yard. I've still got 2 yards, 1 yard. So I think there's a lot. I think he also has a high IQ. I mean, he sees things, he reads it. There's so much to this game. It's not just about size and speed. Right? It's about what defense are they running? Okay, what do I do with that defense? When do I do it? How is the guy positioned? I mean, there's just a million things that go into becoming a great player, and I think JSN's going to be one of those.
Steve Largent's a testament to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, when I was at my most athletic, I could outrun Steve Largent. I mean, I think he ran like a 4.7 40 or 4.
Probably.
But could I cover him?
No.
Absolutely not, Paul. Absolutely not. Hey, if you missed any of our show or you just want to go watch things again, check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and search for Seattle Sports on all social media platforms to find segments like our conversations with Seahawks players, Mariners players, and much more. Well, coming up, could we see Jamal Adams back in New York with the Jets? We'll hear all about that next when we sweep the dial. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
After a tough homestand.
Next offer to Judd, swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. The Yankees have the lead.
The first-place Mariners are back on the road, where they've been at their best so far this season. Call them the Road Warriors.
In the clutch.
Tonight, the M's kick off a 10-game trip in the first of 3 against the Padres. First pitch at 6:40, with Wyman and Bob taking you up to pregame at 5:30. Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
FX presents Welcome to Wrexham.
For the last 4 years, it's been this roller coaster of magic.
The Emmy Award-winning series returns. Come on, Wrexham! With an all-new season.
We're going into a really tough division.
Birmingham are absolute favourites with the arrival of Tom Brady.
It's a friendly competition. Oh! Well, not so friendly.
Imagine the opportunity to beat Tom Brady at sports.
FX's Welcome to Wrexham. All new Thursdays at 9 on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later on your timeline. No showings, no double moves. Plus, Orchard handles all home repairs for you, attracting buyers. Buy before you sell and get top dollar with Orchard. Visit Orchard.com for your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle. And plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip today. Go to communitytransit at ctgo.org/home run.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? Well, with Xfinity, you can. Do more of what you love in the places you go the most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile, well, they have Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and out on the go. So get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most. Maybe the coffee shop, the grocery store, or at the game. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for a year with no contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T Plus. Ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G, Internet Plus One, unlimited welcome line, and AT&T Internet 300 Plus One, unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
On the Jets Lounge podcast, Jamal Adams said it would be a dream come true to return to the Jets.
I would be lying to you if I sat here and said, man, I didn't want to return home. And when I say home, I'm not talking about Dallas. I'm talking about New York, man. So I would love to be back, you know, with the Jets and obviously finish it the right way. Man, that would be a dream come true, just to patch up that relationship and kind of make it work. And, you know, just come in there as a seasoned vet and, you know, give game to the young cats and help in any way, shape, or form I can. You know I can still play football. I'm healthy, you know, and I can impact the game in a lot of ways. I just need that fair opportunity to come in and showcase what I can do.
You know, Jamal Adams, I cannot help but just to wish him the best. I really We interviewed him after he got his contract done that the Seahawks did, and the way he interviewed and the way he talked about football and everything was so passionate. It was like the way he played, and he played really well. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, because they give up 2 firsts for him." Yeah, that was a pretty hefty price, but he did not come with an injury history. It's kind of like Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny came out of San Diego State. He didn't have an injury history, and then just did nothing but get hurt.
Well, let's remember the first year Jamal played for us, we were thinking that's ended up being a good trade.
9.5 sacks.
We had we were coming off. I mean, we had a late draft pick, right? I mean, so it was late
Brooks,
20s, whatever.
Yeah.
So when you were looking at it at the time, you're thinking, okay. Yeah, it's just a bummer. I mean, I loved the way Jamal played.
Yeah.
Around the line of scrimmage. He was a liability in the passing game. He had bricks for hands, not a great cover, not a good feel for the passing game.
No.
But that was fine. I mean, you get 9.5 sacks from a safety, and his first step explosiveness was so elite. And I thought we had something for a while, and it's just he never got over the injury bug.
Sweeping the dial.
Al Michaels seems pretty happy with the Thursday Night Football schedule this season.
I look at this schedule, and Rich, you and I are both, I think, old enough to remember the old cigarette commercial with the slogan, "You've come a long way, baby."
Nice.
I think that's how I look at Amazon now, because we started in 2022. The schedule had a couple of pretty good games, and then a lot of run-of-the-mill games. And then in 23, it became considerably better. Last year was great. The ratings were terrific, and we had a ton of really great matchups and wonderful games that people really loved. And this year, I look at this schedule, Rich, and you see the same thing that I'm seeing. Most of the games would be Sunday night or Monday night games as well. So, I mean, I think we're kind of right there where we had hoped to be 4 years into it.
Al Michaels, just an iconic voice. By the way, you've come a long way, baby. Do you remember the cigarette company that ran those ads?
I don't smoke, Dave. Hey.
Virginia Slims.
No, I definitely don't know that. Look, you're right. Al Michaels, some of the greatest calls ever. Certainly, one of the top 5, probably in my book as well. But there's a time it's time to go. And it's not that he's not capable. He just looks disinterested. He sounds disinterested in games, and he was so good. And he's complained. I mean, when some of the games get boring, I'm like, that's your job. Your job's to make it entertaining. And you're getting paid a lot of money. And so I've been disappointed in him the last couple of years. And maybe he got the press clip readings on this one and said, I need to change my tune and be excited about these games because they're paying a lot of money for it. Because Al Michaels, when he's at his best, is still, if not the best, one of the best in the business.
Sweeping the dial.
John Schneider told Rich Eisen that Sam Darnold was aware of their plans to draft Jaden Milroe.
Yeah, Coach. So Mike McDonald, gave Sam a heads up, and it was kind of, within that period, it was coming down the pike like, hey, this isn't about you. This is about acquiring an impact player. In our opinion, where does the quarterback stuff go? We don't know how fast. And then, so Mike talked to Sam. I was able to communicate with Drew. And obviously we were communicating with Sam Howell all throughout the weekend as well. Sam Howell's a special person too.
Yeah, interesting. Sam Howell looked pretty good during camp out there a couple of times without pads, but he sure didn't look good when he had to get in the game, and I don't know that he got a fair shake as far as that goes. But, as far as Sam Darnold, you and I have talked about this before. Well, it kind of bleeds into the whole tanking thing. Like, try to get a player to play crappy so they can draft someone to come in and replace you is number one. But number two is I always would get in a bad mood when the draft. I mean, I was happy the day I was drafted, but every year when the draft came around, I just remember kind of dreading it. Going, okay, here comes the guy who is probably going to replace me.
I used to, they didn't call me every single year, Dave, that they drafted a safety. All right, and I doubt they called Julian Love or Kobe Bryant when they got Nick Emanwari. So
right.
there's something about the quarterback position, and they just get treated differently, right? Yeah. And so that's nice. I'm glad. Sam seems like a great guy. It's competition. I'm going to draft the guy that we think's best for our team, whether that's a backup role or a starter or to push you, and it doesn't matter. Guess what? You play great. You play great, Sam. It's your job.
Yeah. Well, it's, going back to, we talked about this on the day of the draft, that when they drafted Russell Wilson, they didn't really need him. But remember how awesome it was when Russ was making like $500,000 a year?
It was good.
And he was going out there and balling out, and then you could go out and sign Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett, and yeah, I mean, it was.
Were you
nice.
In the room? We had a production meeting, and the first time that Russell Wilson was a preseason game. I think you were in the room with it because it was Rabel. It was all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And Russ comes in, and we're like, whoever this kid. I mean, he'd looked good leading up into camp, and he went around. He shook everybody's hand, asked our name, and when he left, I think he almost recited every one of our names, like, "Hey, Dave, nice to meet you. Paul, nice to meet you." Went around the room, and I think I heard who's the giant quarterback that got drafted in the first round.
Jackson Dart.
Yes, he talked about that. He did that. He was talking to the media, and I'm like, oh, that's a Russell thing right there.
Yeah.
So good for Russ.
Yeah. Now Russ is in New York. That's an odd group of mixture of quarterbacks there. Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, and Russell Wilson.
I mean, how weird is it that Russ is now a journeyman quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, boy, that was a fast fall.
Yeah, I mean, I always blame the agent. I like blaming the agent because I like Russ.
I do too.
But he did. It was pretty.
That's his fault, though.
Pretty despicable.
That's his fault.
Well, look, Paul, I've said this before. Like, I had one of the hottest agents, Marvin Demoff. Like, he had Elway and Marino, not guys like me.
I think he had Kurt Warner.
Yeah. I mean, he had a bunch of first rounders, but like, I told him what to do. Like, I'm not going to hold out. I'm not going to miss camp, whatever. You instruct your agent. I don't care how much of a big shot they are.
Yeah, but Russ, the reason why I say it's Russ's fault is he had Pete Carroll, and all he had to do was keep going down the path of, we're going to play football that aligns with the best that you do. And then he wanted out. I want to throw more. And I'm like, that's your fault. So anyways, but yes, we all love Russ. He's going to be on the Ring of Honor someday, and I hope he has a great year.
All right, coming up, Paul, we never finished our predictions for the 2025 Seahawks season. So if you want to know what's going to happen next year, you got to tune in for the next half an hour until we turn it over to the pregame show for the Mariners. But you still have some time also to get your mean texts in, and I would recommend that you direct them all at Paul Moyer. 866-979-3776 or Matt Nelson or Brady or Michael or anybody but me. Anyway, we'll finish that up. You're listening to Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Only Brock and Salk and Seattle Sports go one-on-one with Raiders head coach Pete Carroll. Dude, that still sounds so weird.
Are you kidding me?
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
What's happening, fellas? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. It's been a while. How
I
are you?
bet. I get it. Yeah. You haven't called me once. What are you talking about? Doing great. We're having a blast. The energy around this building is really familiar and really fun.
The whole conversation's on video. Watch it on YouTube or the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new replacement right now. That's huge. $1,000 off. Quite the incentive for homeowners to book their roof replacement right now. It's Mike Salk here, and it really is a great time to do it. These days are getting long, right? Sunsets after 8 o'clock. Crews can get your roof done quick. So take advantage now before demand spikes this summer, making those repairs costly and time-consuming as well. Here's what you got to do to claim your $1,000 off from Riverside Roofing. Book a free estimate from the website, riversideroofingllc.com. And then you'll meet with Brandon, that's Don's son. Just tell him you heard the message here on the radio station. $1,000 back in your pocket, and yes, a brand new roof over your head. And while you're there, ask Brandon about their 35 years of local experience, GAF Master Elite certification, which puts them in the top 3% of roofers in the nation, and of course the catch-all system, which they use to keep your yard and driveway totally free of debris like nails or shingles. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. Remember, Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. trust.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Hey, it's Graz here. Getting a quick round or a rain session in before work makes the day so much more fun and is a big-time stress reliever. Take advantage of one of the 11 local premier courses nearby. Inner Bay, Jackson, Bill Wright, West Seattle, Cedar Crest, Bellevue, Linwood, Walter Hall, Legion Memorial, Lake Padden, and their newest course, the Ocean Shores Golf Course. Practice on the range with Top Tracer at Jackson, Inner Bay, and Bill Wright Golf Complex. Play the courses, play virtual, play premier, premiergolfcenters.com.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett.
There are very few players more valuable.
Every Thursday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
I think Cal Raleigh is the Seattle Mariners.
Listen live on 710 with a podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Your Seattle Mariners embark on a 10-game road trip tonight, facing the San Diego Padres, Chicago White Sox, and a 4-game series against the hated Houston Astros. Logan Evans is your pitcher tonight. Mariner hitters will face right-handed pitcher Stephen Kolek, and over the weekend it'll be Emerson Hancock and Brian Wu on the mound. The Mariners currently lead the AL West with a 23-19 record. They're 10-8 on the road this year and have won 5 series on the road this season. You can hear the whole thing right here. First pitch tonight is at 6:40, and the pregame show starts at 5:30.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome back to Wyman and Bob. It's Dave Wyman and Paul Moyer. And Paul, we got to get to the rest of this schedule. We went through the first 7 games, and that stopped at the bye week, right? And so, yeah. And by the way, bye week plays pretty well, right?
I think it's perfect.
I feel like it always. I remember one year it was like in week 4, week 5, and it somehow worked out that they had, and it might have been Jamal Adams actually, that he was injured, and then so it gave him an extra week. So it always seems to work out either way. But if you're just like, okay, default position, I'll take it somewhere in the middle. So
well, I think the reason why it's so important to be in the middle of the regular season is you've also had 3 preseason games and 5 weeks of camp and all that stuff, right? So by the time you get there, I haven't had time off for almost 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So no, it's a good time, and then you gear up for the last 8-9 games of the year. So
by the way, bye week, never wanted to sample anything that felt like the off season for me when we had bye weeks. 94, we had 2 bye weeks.
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
And then I just remember when Russell Wilson, it was either 2015 or 2016. He basically went on this vacation, and there were pictures, and it looked like the cover of a romance novel. Like he was on a horse on the beach, trotting along, and pictures of him and his wife. And I'm like, oh man, that this is terrible. And then he came back and just lit it up. He had like a 4 or 5 week streak there where he was throwing for like 350, and I think he had 9 touchdowns and 1 interception or 0. I mean, he just lit it up. But during the bye week, I never wanted to like go on vacation or anything like that. It's like, of course I was always just in some kind of therapy or whatever to get whatever I had that was injured back to being normal. I'm going to interrupt myself really quick. Mean texts. We need them. 866-979-3776. There's been some good ones, but mostly it's not a good supply. And usually I will kind of poke our texters a little bit.
Poke them a little.
But, I'm running the show and, having to babysit you, Paul. So, yeah, I'm not having
I'm reading some of them ahead of time.
Yeah.
And there's one that's pretty funny that he and I are going back and forth on a couple things. But
okay, well, we'll get
there's some
that.
funny ones.
Yeah. So, but before we do that, bye week and then week 9 at Washington, I have this as a loss, Paul, and I think it's
too.
Reasonable that there's a really good team that went pretty far in the playoffs and quarterback that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I have them losing to the Washington Commanders. Sounds like you do too.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football. That's a tough one. The only thing is that does play into us a little bit. Those biometric stuff. Those late games work in favor of West Coast teams, just like the morning ones work in favor for the East Coast teams. But I agree. And Joe, just so you know, you're 4-3 going into the bye week. I'm 6-1.
Right.
And I could probably be more in that 5-2 range, but I think we've made a case for both. So now I'm 6-2, and you're 4-4, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I was like, yeah, but I think, look, I'm eventually we'll get to 11 wins here. I promise. But like I said before, I have us sweeping the Cardinals. So week 10 is the Arizona Cardinals at home, and I feel like they're going to take care of it. Just because I go always to Kyler Murray, and I don't know, they just. There was a time, a stretch where they were coming up here and beating us regularly at home.
Yeah.
The Arizona
They had
Cardinals.
our number for a while.
I think it was like 16, 17, 18, something like that. But, but I just don't see enough in the offseason. I also think it's just a poorly run organization.
Yeah, I got us winning that one too, but I had us winning on the road against Arizona. So, everything stays healthy. I got to win there too. Let's jump to the Rams.
At the Rams,
I'll start first. I got a loss there. I got a lot. I think the Rams are good. I can't get us winning every single game. So on the road against a good team, I'll take a loss there.
Agree there. At Titans,
I got to win. I'm
Same.
just, they're, a couple years from now, maybe they're good, but right now they need some help.
At Tennessee, so I think, and that's, week 12, sometime probably around Thanksgiving. Then you got the Minnesota Vikings coming here in week 13. Bad memories last year of the Vikings. They had that game, and they had a couple of opportunities to win that game against the Vikings when they came in here, and Sam Darnold broke our heart.
He did. They don't have Sam. They're going to go with, again, I know he's not a rookie, but he's all intents and purposes. He's a rookie next
J.J.
year.
McCarthy.
He missed the whole season.
Yeah.
And they're going to go with, to me, I think a rookie quarterback. We'll see what happens. Cousins, or not Cousins.
McCarthy.
Yeah, I know McCarthy. I was trying to think who the backup was.
Oh.
I mean, we should win now. We should have won last year. So I got to win there as well.
Yeah, so Minnesota at home, I think they're going to take care of business, and I have them.
Atlanta?
I have them doing much, much better at home this year. But yeah, next at Atlanta. I remember thinking when we went to Atlanta, we were playing poorly this last year and had a huge defensive play, a touchdown, and I'm trying to remember if it was Boye Mafe that caused it, and was it Derek Hall that ran it in or vice versa? But, they were down, man. I remember they had Michael Jarrell out there playing right tackle, the kid from Finlay who was a rookie and a project from a Division II school, and they got it done. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a win at Atlanta there.
I'm gonna go with a loss on that one. And again, another morning game. They got a good running game. Defensively they struggled. You got Pence that looks like he's going to be the starter.
Oh, Penix.
Or excuse me, Penix. Yeah. What did I say? Pence?
Yeah.
Penix. Whew. Okay, I don't know how you guys do the 3.5, 4 hours every day.
I just screw up a lot, Paul, and people text in and tell me.
And I saw a OTA with Penix threw a ball, and his deep ball is unbelievable. It was the tightest spiral. I mean, it didn't wobble at all. Dropped right into the receiver's hand. They got some skill guys. They got a good running back. If they can shore up the defensive side, going to be an issue. So I got a loss there. You got a W.
Who's the running back again?
Starts with a B.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. Great. Yeah, they've got some good skill types there. So, but I'm going with the win in Atlanta. Next week, week 15, Indianapolis Colts at home. Feel about Indy the way I feel about Arizona, a team that you should beat.
They don't have a quarterback.
No.
I mean, maybe, but no, they don't. They're not from what we've seen at quarterback. And they're an organization that just struggles a little bit. So I got a W for there as well. Now we got Thursday night football, week 16. We got the Rams at home. Look, to me, the last 3 games of the season are really must win. So you got to win your division games. You got to be in the hunt. So I'm going with a W. Get revenge from the earlier loss at the Rams.
Yeah. You know what? I had us losing at the Rams.
Yes, you did.
Is that right?
Yes.
So, I think they're going to split with the Rams.
Okay.
So, at home, I think they're going to take care of business. On the road, I think it's going to be tough. And it's pretty much that same way with San Francisco. But before that, we got at Carolina. It seemed like we used to go to the Panthers all the time.
We did.
And
fell behind like 30-0 every time.
Yeah.
And would try to make a comeback.
Right.
That was during the Cam Newton days.
Yeah, I remember the playoff game where they came back in the second half. I mean, there was just nothing in the first half. So, so it seemed like we used to go out there quite a lot. But I have us with a win in Carolina.
Yep, me too.
And then San Francisco. At San Francisco, I have us losing that one. So again, and I'm really, my theme is kind of like, I think they're going to repair at home. So I only have 2 of the 6 losses at home.
I don't even know if I have 2. I may have 1, and then a few more on the road. I'm taking a loss here too because we've already secured the NFC West. So we're going to rest our starters. We didn't quite secure home field advantage, best record in the NFC. So we're going to rest our starters and let the 49ers win a game. So I've got us finishing 12-5. I get it's very optimistic, but I think it's doable. You go through there, there's no game where I said we're going to win that you go, oh, there's no way. First of all, I don't know if there's anybody on our schedule where I feel like that.
Yeah.
This is a favorable schedule from what we've seen from last year. Now, these teams are all going to be different. But yeah, I got 12-5. You got 11-6.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, optimistic. I agree. It's got to be healthy, all those other things. But when you look at the schedule, the way we just went through this, I don't think it's actually unreasonable. And so we got us well above what Vegas has at 7.5 wins. And I think that is really low.
So where do you think that comes from primarily? We all know that. Well, first of all, why don't you calculate in there the fact that you've got a really good head coach who's going to be in his second year? He's making a change. We saw that he's not going to drag his feet as far as making changes as he did in the middle of last year. Think about that, what happened last year during that bye week. They had Connor Williams just retire, and apparently...
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, apparently he didn't like Grubb at all. And
I'm hearing a few stories about that, period.
Yeah. I mean, just you've heard it from a couple of players, and he's a nice guy, no question about it. But I just don't think things made sense. It's kind of like I kind of draw parallels between the Mariner hitting coaches and how that whole message has been sort of shortened. And what was it? Cal Raleigh said, it was Cal Raleigh that was saying that Edgar just brings like a sense of calmness.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah.
When a Hall of Famer walks in, football, basketball, it does not matter. And they can give you something that helps you.
Yeah.
You're absolutely going to listen. It's different than, a guy who walks in, he just hasn't really been around. He just kind of gives his opinion, and you're going, dude, I get that from my coaches every day.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy like Jacob Green walks in, and he's watching an edge rusher. He goes, hey, let me show you something that was really simple that worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, wow, no one's ever taught me that. And
I had one of those moments with Tom Catlin.
Did you?
Tom Cat played linebacker in the league back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just came up, and it was just something. He said words to me that made me stay lower. And leverage is everything in the NFL, especially if you're in the box. And it was just like it just clicked for me. So anyway,
some great guys are great communicators.
Yeah.
I want to get to mean text, man.
Oh, okay. You're eager, aren't you?
I mean, some of them aren't that.
All right, you heard it, everybody. Paul wants mean texts directed at him. Paul Moyer, PaulMoyer. Send them in right now. Here we go. He did mention that you're going to get you to a Mariner game. So, yeah, it was good having you in here today, man. I really appreciate it. Bob taking a little vacation apparently with Lefko. That's going to be something for discussion. The fact that you brought that up.
Now refer to Mike as little buddy.
Yeah.
I hope Bob and Mike are having a good time together.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening today. Stay tuned for Mariners pregame with Shannon Dreher. That's coming up next. You've been listening to Wyman and Bob with Paul Moyer. I want to thank Paul Moyer, Gary Hill, and John Boyle. We'll talk to you on Monday. It's Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Bump and Stacy.
Jason Churchill joining us now. Might we be staring at a potential gap where you're still waiting on production from your pitchers and the offense has come back down to earth?
If I would have told you after about 40 games that the Mariners are going to be in first place, George Kirby will have not pitched, and the thing that's led them to this record would be the lineup, the offense, the run scoring, I think every single fan would have been like, hey, yeah, I'll take that.
Bump and Stacy. Weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Brock Heward here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO, Shannon O'Kelly. Now, Shannon, I need to ask you if what I've been hearing is true. You don't need a referral, really, to see a physical therapist in the state of Washington?
That's exactly right, Brock. The state of Washington is a state that has what's called direct access. That means that if you get up in the morning, for example, and you hurt your back or did something to your muscles or tendons or joints, you can call a physical therapist directly, and we can get you in that same day and start your care and your recovery process.
How can patients get scheduled with IRG?
Oh, it's easy. You just contact us at irgpt.com. We'll direct you to our concierge service, and we'll take care of all that for you. We handle all the authorization, verification. We want our patients to understand their insurance benefits and what the outcomes are going to be with their visit to IRG Physical and Hand Therapy.
Please, please, please don't let injuries keep you from your passion. Schedule online today at irgpt.com and start the journey back to your best self.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Hey, it's Bump for West Hills Ford, the big Ford store. Right now, during the From America for America event, Ford is offering employee pricing to all U.S. shoppers on many new Ford models. Lease the 2024 Ford F-150 STX four-wheel drive Super Crew, only $549 per month for 36 months, with $4,999 duet signing on improved credit. West Hill Ford, the big Ford store, just off the Auto Center Way exit. Highway 3, Bremerton, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it! Four down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And if you love animals, you're part of our world. Humane World for Animals. The end of animal cruelty.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO